the fuck?
Oh my god, dude.
The first couple times I tried it, it would only make make me like go sideways, and I was so close you could just see my eyeballs. Like I couldn't get it to fix. I tried it 3 times. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? But as soon as we did it through the phone number, it came up like this, like proper.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell that was about, but
No, each time I would try to click it, and then it would just say like join, and it would just spin.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know, YouTube problems, man.
I mean, honestly, I don't understand how they're as like YouTube is as big as it is, as much money as they make, like owned by Google. How are you so behind on this? How are they so bad at this? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really think they care all that much considering they're going to be making their money anyway because they're the only ones really out there. So it's kind of like they throw us a bone to keep the the advertisements rolling where they make all their money and they don't really give a shit. They're not quick to fix these kind of bugs that they've created.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's unfortunate, but I mean the better quality stuff that's out there, the more people are going to consume the product, right? You'd think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, or just like make it easier to use, like make it more user friendly. Some of this stuff, like I don't know. I'm just an idiot, so the more easy you can make it for me, the better.
Oh, 100%. And it kind of sucks too because the 2 times I tried going live with D's, I've never had a smooth conversation like this with him. It's always been I've been zoomed in or we had all kinds of problems. Same thing with the Coin too. I tried going live with Coin one time and it just wouldn't work. It wouldn't do a co-live. We had to go live on Facebook to get our live done. It's just crazy.
That's weird, man.
Yeah. I was starting to get text messages like I keep on seeing it pop up. What's going on, bro? Are you going live today? I'm like, yeah, just give me a second, man. I'm trying to work it out. Trying to work it out. Yeah. Uh, so how
Yeah,
you been,
weird,
man?
man. Been okay. I've been good.
Yeah.
Busy, super busy.
Yeah. So it was the same for me too. Coming up to, I guess up to about last week or so, things kind of mellowed out, and I ended up having to miss a couple of my Sunday shows. It was the first time in over a year that I missed 2 weekends. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I missed period. I'd always do one on a weekend type thing, trying to, just always come back and do my show and whatever to have this fun. And with everything that was going on with my dad at the time, I was just like, fucking, I don't have time for this shit.
is he doing all right now?
Yeah, he's doing good. It was kind of crazy in the beginning because the surgery was only supposed to take like 4 to 6 hours. It ended up taking like 8.5, and there was a little bit of complications doing it, and then everything seemed to be good. The first day he was up walking and all that stuff. Like you could imagine having a double bypass and a valve
Yeah,
change, and you're up walking around the very next day. But
yeah, that's how they
uh,
do it now. I mean, it used to be like, oh, rest and all that and whatever, and
yeah,
don't move. But now they want you moving, man. They want you up and moving.
yeah, I think it's a good thing too. That blood flow, bringing nutrients helps you heal faster,
Yeah,
even if it's with small bursts. But it's important to keep moving. But the day that I went to go see him, so the surgery was on Thursday, and they weren't really allowing visitors until the weekend. So I went up on the Saturday to go visit him, and it seemed like he had a stroke. So by the time I got there, he was seeing things, and you couldn't really have a conversation with him, and it was kind of tough. Got a phone call. Me and my brother were in the car driving down there to go visit him. We stopped off in this town called Castleman. I guess it's about an hour out from Ottawa. So we or maybe a little bit more, but we stop in there to get some gas, and my mom calls me on the phone, crying, saying that the hospital just called. Dad's non-responsive. You got to get here, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like it was tough, man. So we hopped in the car. My brother just was coming out, finished filling up the gas, and I'm like, let's go, dude. He's like, what's going on? Mom just called me. Bad news. Let's go. Off we went. Like a fucking bat out of hell. We got there, and just before we got there, I got a call from my brother-in-law, who, Kwame, if you're watching, you're the fucking man, dude. He gave us a call and let us know what was going on, and told us basically, look, all of his vitals are good. They just can't seem to wake him up. So we thought that they over medicated him because they changed his medication. That maybe they over medicated him, but it turned out after a CT scan it showed nothing. But when he had his MRI, they found where the stroke happened. So anyway, he's got no lasting effects of the stroke. Everything seems to be good now. He's back to being sharp. And anyway, good news.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good news.
Good news.
Yeah,
Good
he's
news.
home now. He's home. He's got a little bit of nerve pain in his arm. They're not sure if it was from maybe something caused by the stroke or from the surgery. They don't know yet. But besides that, he's good. So that's
Good
that
news. I
was
mean,
good news.
the
Yeah.
best you can hope for in that situation. That's what my mom died from. She had a stroke that she just couldn't recover from. It was a massive stroke.
Oh
And
man.
my brother and sister were there with her when it happened. She was talking about how her head had really, she always had headaches like my whole life. She had suffered from migraines, but she was like, yeah, she was like talking to my brother and sister real early in the morning about how her head hurt and that it didn't feel right and it didn't feel like how she normally feels, and she just felt like somebody should know that. And I guess she had asked my dad repeatedly to help her out and do something, take her to the hospital or whatever. My dad just didn't. She had so many migraines all the time that he just figured she was just having a migraine.
Yeah.
And some point, I guess she stood up and started talking a bunch of nonsense. And my brother and sister were like, "What's going on?" And she kind of just like fell out of it, and they called an ambulance. But by the time they got there, they were just trying to resuscitate her, and
Oh shit.
she didn't even make it to the hospital.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
What? So
So
it was like a stroke or an aneurysm or something like
yeah,
that.
they called it an acute intracranial hemorrhage.
Oh fuck. Okay. Yeah.
So
So it started off as a stroke and then hemorrhaged.
it was
Yeah.
massive. It was a
Oh
massive. Yeah.
man. Yeah.
And the bad part about those types of things is that for a while you're still in there. Like, you don't know what's going on. You can't control your speech. You can't move right. Like, but you're alive. Like
Yeah.
and you're experiencing things. The good part is that your brain itself doesn't feel pain.
Oh. Yeah.
So like when they do brain surgery, a lot of times they'll cut you open and you're awake, and they'll touch your brain and you can't feel it.
Oh,
And they're
that's so
in the
fucked up.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, that's
And
fucked up.
so
Yeah.
the your actual brain can't feel pain. So even though you have a bad headache, she had a real bad headache. What was going on internally was probably painless. But imagine like you're just losing everything. You're losing your ability to speak. You're losing your ability to think. You're losing your ability to move your body how you want to. Like, that would be terrifying to me.
Yeah, we had a guy at my work named Andre who had one of those things, and it was funny. He was sitting down at his table having breakfast with his family like normal, like every weekend, just shooting the shit with them, and then all of a sudden gibberish started coming out of his mouth, and you could see the fear in his eyes. Like his son was telling us, he's like, no, no, you could see he had fear in his eyes. Like, what the fuck's going on? That's not what I'm trying to say. And
Yeah,
he kept on trying to talk, and then he literally just went face down into his plate, and that was it. It was like it was crazy, man. This one
yeah.
started off dark. I'm sorry, everyone.
No, yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah,
no, look, the thing is that everyone is gonna die, and we're likely gonna die from one of three things. You're either gonna die because of a bad blood issue, like your cholesterol, your heart, you're gonna have a heart attack, you're gonna have a stroke, diabetes, whatever. The second thing you're most likely to die from is cancer, and then the third thing is dementia, like brain issues that
yeah,
begin early. And so, like, though that's common, even though it sounds like, oh, this is horrible stuff to talk about. You or somebody is probably going to go through this. So
that's life. Yeah,
that's how it goes.
yeah, yeah. It sucks. So, what do you got in that catch box there today?
Okay, so I don't know how well you can see it. The top one, it's a 40 up here and a 40 right there. One's
Nice.
steel, so the top one is a steel spinner. This one's a leather spinner, and then in between them is one of those 12.5 millimeter wide leather spinners that's got the rivet in it.
Oh, nice.
So you
Nice, nice.
can't. I don't know if you can see. You might be able to see it when I hit it, but
I
it's in
can
it's
see
right
the
in between
top.
them.
I can see the top and the bottom one. I can't see anything in the middle. I guess my screen's too small, but maybe those at home who have it on a larger screen can see it.
Yeah,
I
you'll
don't.
probably be able to see it when I hit it, if I hit it.
In here at the top, I've got one of those glue bottles from Andre, which is basically the size of a 40 millimeter flipper, and then right under it, it's a Timber 26 20 millimeter flipper that I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
in there.
I
That's
can
all I got going on in there. But
surprisingly, I can see that. I can see
oh,
your
nice.
20,
Oh wow.
and I got your Avro.
Oh yeah. How did you find it felt in your hand?
Feels great. Actually, the pinky hole is right where I think it's supposed to be. So like sometimes people make the pinky hole a little bit too far down,
Yeah.
and
I that's
that
done
was
by design. I want to keep my hands really close up to the fork, so
yeah. So this one's right where I think it should be. And then I'm not so except for a few very few frames, I don't like these things too much.
yeah.
So I don't when I make my own like designs, I sort of tend to leave that out, but there's a few frames obviously that I do like it on. But this, whatever we call this, I don't know what the technical term for it is.
I don't know. I always call this like a finger groove. That's it. Yeah.
So
Like a finger groove.
I brought my Axiom. This is probably what I'm gonna shoot at Hocking Hills.
Oh, nice.
This is my Natty Axiom, and then I brought out also my Natty Gasser.
Oh, very sweet.
So I'll shoot through these three while we're chit chatting.
So I got this bad boy here that you sent me,
Yeah,
and we're gonna take some shots with it. I can't wait. This is awesome. But I also acquired a gasser in a trade. I'll be shooting that one today. And by the way, Jordan, this thing is freaking awesome. But
yeah, oh yeah,
what an amazing design! And also the pinky hole was something I was going to mention. Is it's right where I want to keep my hand. It's perfect, perfect. And at first, when I saw it come out, I was like, "Man, that thing's a little small." But you know what? It's perfect.
yeah.
And
When Robert first designed it, the dimension, like the design, it was right there. It was right
yeah,
there. And then as I was shooting it for a while, I was like, you know what? The pinky hole needs to go up. It needs to go toward the fork. It was too low. So what would happen is your pinky would get like out here, like this type of thing.
yeah.
And so I shortened, just took like a section out of the handle, and as soon as that happened, it felt right.
Oh, and it's right. It's right, all right. I gotta say that for sure. Yeah, that's very cool. Yo, Hawks in the house. Just say hi, quick hi to everybody there. Hoggy, Al, Rex, Mark Owens, Al. Al's all usually the first guy in here. Usually. Oh, Billy was the first one today. Jeff, Kerry, Ron, uh, Jody, Andrew. What's up, guys? How you doing? Chris. Yeah, pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Yeah, I had a little raffle for an Avro yesterday, and Kyle won it down in Barbados there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, he was in there chatting with his son. I was like, he's gonna. He's got a. I don't know if Kyle's in here or not yet. Maybe I shouldn't say anything, but anyway, I'm gonna end up sending him down a natty Avro similar to the one that you have there for
Oh,
his
heck yeah.
son. Yeah, his son was watching. He got all excited about it. He hasn't started shooting, but he wants to. And I'm like, oh well, if he's if he's interested, I'll send him down an extra frame, and he can have a little bit of fun with it.
Do you happen to know what type of wood this is?
Yep. It's beach.
Beech.
Yeah.
So yeah, some characteristics of the beech that I'm seeing. That like weird brownish like hues. Those
Yeah.
weird like random brownish hues. See, I'm trying to learn. Um, I'm so bad at.
Not all beach will look like this though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Usually that's like a pretty special thing. Like I cut that one down about 2 years ago, and it was a branch that had fallen off of a tree from a giant windstorm, and the branch was alive. So when I took it down, when I took a when I cut the section out of it, I had it sitting in my garage in the dark for like 2 years, and the spalting showed up from there. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I didn't even know it was possible to do that. To get the thing to spalt on its own. I thought that was some kind of fungus or whatever it is it would pick up from the forest floor or something, but it
Yeah,
still did it in my garage.
if you have a little bit of moisture, so if it's a little bit humid, it'll pick it up. I mean,
Yeah,
especially a porous, kind of more porous wood like beach.
yeah.
Um,
It's
it'll pick.
extremely hard,
Yeah,
beach.
yeah.
Yeah, it's extremely hard, but it's I don't know, it's actually quite nice. I was kind of shocked at how nice it was.
Oak does the same thing.
Mm. Oh wow, you got a little bit of heartwood in there, or is that just like
Yeah. So it's a little
yeah.
bit of heartwood, and then there's some damage in there. It was a big crack across there, and I used that super thin super glue, and I just kept pouring it in there until it wouldn't soak anymore in there.
Oh wow.
And
Oh, that's
so,
solid as hell now though. You don't have to worry about that, I'm sure.
yeah. And then you can see like all that like heartwood in there,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
little bit of the rot like down in there, and then the backside looks totally fine.
Oh, that's crazy, eh? Beautiful, beautiful. And I gotta tell you, man, you're like I know I already told you this, but your finish with that glue, it's like perfect, dude. Like wow,
It's
wow.
close.
It's pretty damn close, man. Like this thing, this thing is beautiful. I can get as close. It looks like a mirror everywhere. It's just like fantastic, man. I gotta practice a little bit more on this and get that skill down because that's a great way to finish the slingshot. It looks gorgeous.
So the one that was the first one that I did this new technique that I really like, where I use super thin CA,
Yeah.
and I coat it, just keep going over it until it stops soaking in. And then once you've got it like that, you sand it back down to make it all smooth again, and then you coat it with a couple layers of the medium stuff. And what that does is it impregnates the wood. So even when you sand the medium stuff back down a little bit, if you sand into the wood, that first coat with the thin stuff was so deep that it doesn't make any difference.
I think the issue I had with the one that I sent you is the glue was so uh it dried so fast that when I was putting it on, when I put the glue on and I would get like a wipe or two out of it before it would dry. And I was using like a nitrile glove because it doesn't really stick to it, but
Yeah.
I was actually starting to stick to it, and it was just like, man, it was a fucking nightmare. But I am gonna try that next time. I'm gonna see if I can find a brand that actually dries a little bit slower, so it'll give it more time to soak into the wood. I think that would be a better bet. But the Gorilla Glue that I had used in the past, or I was using before, didn't dry. It was like double or triple the time for it to dry than the one that I had here. This one, it was like I would literally put it on with a couple drops and then try to wipe it. I get like 2 wipes and that was it. Like I was sticking. So
It's
it was
probably
really
the
fast.
beach. It's probably the wood. There's probably just a small amount a higher amount of moisture than normal.
Oh, maybe.
So like when the glue hits that, it just hardens right away.
Oh, that could. Oh, you know what? And it could have been me too after wiping it down because I wiped it down with alcohol a little bit
Hmm.
before. Maybe that had a reaction to it too. Actually, thinking about it now that you mention it, but I gotta practice a little bit more on that. I had a.
It looks it looks awesome.
Huh?
I mean, there's a couple spots where I can see like the orange peel effect, but it's really minimal. I mean, it looks like now that I'm like kind of inspecting it, because before I never actually kind of like looked at it. I just kind of grabbed it and went with it. But I mean, it doesn't look. It looks fine. It looks good.
And for the most part too, that one was done before I had my template, so it was all done by eye,
No, that's
eye and pen. You know, yeah.
really it's pretty damn good for an eye job.
I found it quite difficult though for the. I find it quite difficult with frames with a pinky hole, getting that thing lined up perfectly center. I find it very rough. I mean, the Avro design is like pretty much bang on what I like to shoot. But my goodness, it's like I don't know, it's tough. It's tough to get that fucking hole lined up properly, man. And I'm so picky too. I get pissed off. I get pissed off when I see it's like a quarter of a millimeter off, and I'm like, fuck, I can see that. You know?
Do you look like how, like, now that I'm looking at it and I'm like looking at it side to side, and it's like, okay, I can tell this fork was down a little, and I'm like, okay, but
Yeah.
when you glance on it, it looks perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you have to really kind of check it out, but it's like,
Both
yeah,
forks come in nicely, so they come up and in just slightly.
yeah.
But I don't know if that was intentional, but they're really symmetrical that way too.
Yeah, I tried to keep the forks because I like a nice chunky fork. If you ever want to mess around with tapers and stuff, I like that.
Yeah.
I like those. These ones, they should be around 27 millimeters. But sometimes when I was getting that thing up there, I was like, you know what? Like even hold on, I got it in my pocket. Even this one too, it does the same thing that you're talking about. It does slightly, very very slightly, just come in a little bit on the inside, just to give it
Yeah.
that extra beef on the fork. But I like my frames to be a solid 90, you know, give or take a millimeter in either direction. It's not really the end of the world, but I prefer it to be a solid 90. But if I'm going to put any kind of beef, I always chunk up those fork tips on the inside.
That steel spinner that I have just makes the best noise.
They're the best. But have you had any return to senders?
No, sometimes they pop out like a couple of feet, but they don't.
Oh
It
yeah,
doesn't. It's ready to spin. It's on a cord that's real, like, I don't know
real
what,
loose
like,
or smooth.
it's tight, but it's real. It's really, the hole that it's hanging from is big,
Oh, okay, I see what you
so
mean.
there's a lot of movement that it
Yeah,
has.
yeah. There's no friction holding it in place.
Yeah.
I had I had some of those metal flippers that you know you buy from the typical Chinese sites there, and they have that.
No. Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, that they have that you know that little hole that's in the you know anyway you pass it through your string. You see them all over the Chinese sites; they're everywhere. So maybe I probably could have used a smaller string or whatever it is. But I had a couple where I was shooting. I had one reflect or ricochet off the spinner and hit me right in the lip. Like if you can imagine coming back 10 meters. But what I noticed is as you know, as you shooting them, sometimes they're nice and flat. You hit them, they spin, they spin, they spin, and then they start to cup out a little bit. If you're shooting steel and they start to cup out a little bit, flip them over. If you don't flip them over, they're coming right back at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is one of those Chinesium
Oh,
spinners.
yeah.
So it's not spooning; it's just getting dents in it.
Just dense. Yeah. Well, that's how they all start off was just with the dents, but eventually they'll start spooning if you really put a beating on them.
I'm at 10 meters.
Oh, they're asking how far? What the distance?
Yeah, Doggy Bones asked how far it is.
Oh,
What's the deal with finger holes and pickles? Finger holes and pickles. That's good for the soul.
100%.
There we go.
This is the Kodiak, right? Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Yep.
Yeah, Kodiak. It's a sweet design, dude.
Yeah. I
There's
really like
there's a
how high I can get up on the fork on that one.
yep. You can get up really high on the fork. You've got enough beef in the ass end to keep your hand forward. There's so many good things about this thing. It's a great design. I also like how you did that little bit of a cutout here, and it really it fits my hand perfect. It's like you measured me, really.
I
It's
think I have pretty
crazy.
big hands too. I know you're a big dude. I have pretty big hands too. So if when I make them and I'm thinking about how I'm holding, A lot of times I have to remember, like, I have larger hands than normal.
Yeah. I've got the I wear I can wear a size extra large glove for my palm, but my fingers are really short, so I always end up having like that condom tip finger thing going on. It's so annoying. So I end up buying like size large gloves just to stuff my hand in them, and then the fingers fit. So
I I have the opposite problem. So my hand isn't super thick, but I have real long fingers. So even
uh,
when I buy like XL gloves, the crotch of the fingers only goes down to like here.
oh oh man, that's kind of funny. Yeah, both of us can't find a glove that could fit.
Yeah.
OJ would be proud.
Oh, that was, dude. I hit the center of that thing. If it was a 22 round, I would have fired it off.
Those little who makes those flippers with the rivets in them? I've got a 15 down at the bottom there, and it's
There it is.
oh, you got it.
Yeah, Adam
Nice.
Cantrell, I think, made this one.
Yeah. I think that's who makes them. I know. I think I got my first one. I think I got mine from Omega, but I don't know who was making them at the time. The but it's got that nice brass rivet right in the center, and it takes an ass whooping.
Yeah,
I had to take it out. I had to take it out a couple of times because it started to fray around the edge and looked like it was getting bigger. So I put it onto my sander. I have a little belt sander with a very soft with a very high grit belt, and I just kind of cleaned it up around the edge. I took all the fuzzy shit off it, and I re-glued it. And I'm about due to do it again, actually. But the rivet's holding up nice. Are you going to Hocking Hills, Jordan?
yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, cool.
Assume I can't tell the future, but assuming everything goes to plan, I'll be there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I missed. My anniversary is that Monday,
Oh,
so a week from tomorrow,
yeah.
and we're planning to stay on the site at Scott's house and or at Scott's property. I guess it's not his house, but at Scott's property. We're planning to stay an extra night there and just go to the state park,
Oh,
do some
nice.
hiking, and yeah, beautiful stay. We went there last year too. Man, it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place.
Nice, eh?
It's unbelievable.
We
I mean,
have
Scott's property is also really nice as well.
oh, he's got a big chunk of property out there.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
I guess if he's doing a whole slingshot tournament, he's pretty much got a good chunk of land.
yeah. Not only is his property really nice, but um, he made like a whole woods course. He's got like a pond out there and everything. He also did a deep woods course.
Deep woods.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so it was like beside the regular. Sorry, beside the regular woods course with like the 30 targets or whatever. He
So
had these. He
are
had
you the
these.
reigning champ over there still?
No, I've never won that woods course actually.
Oh, never.
Um, Coin Worker won that one last year.
Oh, yes. How could I forget? Yeah. Coin, Coin, Coin was strutting the champ talk for weeks after that, maybe even months.
Yeah, he still does, you know.
Oh, he's fucking awesome.
But
I love that dude.
yeah, he's a good dude. But yeah, so he had the regular woods course, and then he had the deep woods course. And the deep woods course was 50 2x2 targets. It was old like road signs that were reflective, you know.
Okay.
So they're all 2x2 inch, tiny little targets. And some of these shots, dude, were bananas. Like some of them were like 30 feet down
Oh, sweet.
in like a kind of like a ravine looking, and it was 30 feet down and at least 50, 60 feet out there. Like it was far. And
Real
you know,
difficult shot.
tiny little
Yeah.
targets. And so you're just flinging them wild, you know. And I got out there, dude, and I could something broke in my brain while I was out there. I couldn't had nothing.
Oh no.
I was like, dude, what does this say if like I'm usually the woods course guy. I can't shoot out here. So I'm trying for some redemption this year.
It's very difficult, different. The when you start shooting up and down or high and low and all that stuff. And there was in a section of woods where I do most of my outdoor stuff. That's close to home. It's kind of the same deal. Like there's a nice deep ravine that's down there, and I used to set up bottles down on the trees up and down there. But the last little while it was so muddy that I was having a really hard time getting down there to retrieve my bottles after. So, but it's a lot of fun to go shoot up in those, really challenging up and down like that.
Yeah,
I can
no,
imagine.
I never practiced any of that.
No, it's tough, and that's why I decided to when I shot that video on how to shoot high and low. I shot that video just because I noticed that for in the beginning I was missing everywhere because I was moving my arm to meet the target instead of bending at the waist, and what a difference that made. 60 feet is my longest consistent shooting range. Wow, that's pretty good.
All right, sorry about that. I'm realizing that the sun's about to be directly in the camera.
Yeah, it's also hard just to stand there getting baked on by the sun too. It's not really much of a good time.
No, yeah, the sun's coming over this way and it's about to be directly into the camera.
Oh, yeah, we had I had one of those little gazebo things, and I was putting it down there for a while, and everything was good. And then my son was outside with my dog on a leash, and Benny saw a rabbit, went running around one of the legs, and completely just nuked the thing. Like it broke everywhere, you know. And I'm like, dude, when you have him out there, just we have this tarp that I put out on one side of my house just to block it because I don't have a fence in the front. So I had this tarp that I would just latch onto my neighbor's fence, and we'd let the dog run free when we had the thing up. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. There's no need to do that. And then yeah, so he wrapped around the legs, ripped the thing down to shreds, and I drive up in my car at the end of the day. He says nothing, you know, and I just see the whole gazebo heaped up in the corner of the side of the house, just in a giant pile of it looked like a meteor landed on it, you know. And I'm like, dude, do you have something you want to tell me? He's like, yeah, Benny broke it. I'm like, oh fuck. Oh well, we'll have to get another one, I guess.
So when you were talking about having your hips right,
Yeah,
I think it's like the shoulder. And so if your shoulder is straight but your arms are crooked, it's gonna be weird. So as long as your shoulder is right and to bend at your hips
yeah,
keeps that shoulder
that's
right.
yeah, that's basically what I'm talking about. Is you get your T shape, you know, like
Yeah.
so my shoulder's flat, everything is good. If I do this with my arm, for example, and I tried to stay away from the whole like doing this part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I try to pivot at the waist when I'm aiming, so I keep my whole form all the time instead of having too much movement, which you might do one more than the other. I
Yeah.
try to do this way and just lean back or lean forward. Unfortunately, when I'm shooting at something high up in a tree, for example, and I'm close to it, it causes a bit of an issue because I'm not all that flexible. I have to kind of bend a leg or something. But I have no problem with just backing up a little bit and taking my shots. It works out fine for me that way. But when I did that video, I was shooting at a tomato paste can that I was about 15 meters back from, and it was about I guess it was around 25 feet in the air, and I was hitting it like on the regular, which is a pretty decent sized target from that range, and shooting at height. So, and I think I ended up doing that on the live also. But it's
Yeah, people shooting cans, I think that is like that's just the best target. That's the
Yeah.
best. That's the best thing you can shoot at if you're trying to just be consistent with your shooting.
And it's got a nice pop to it too when you're hitting the can. It's
Yeah.
great. And the thing I like about those tomato paste cans is that they're a good size, so they're smaller than a soda can, for example.
Yeah.
They're smaller than a soda can, and they're far more durable. So you could take one of those things out and shoot it all day long. I ended up cutting that little fucker in half in that video, or shooting that video. But I ended up cutting it in half with my shots from that distance, shooting up in the air, which is a pretty good accomplishment anyway, because those things are tough as fuck. You
Yeah,
know?
steel cans are hard to cut, man.
Oh yeah. Once I got it cut, I was able just to shoot at the stub at the end, and that made it even more difficult.
There's a steel can. I don't know if you can see this like white post right here.
Yep.
There's a steel
Yep.
can on the top of it. So that's just
Oh,
like
sweet.
it's just like an aluminum post with a steel can. Whoops. Drop
Oh,
my ball.
you're shooting. Yeah. You must have simple shot on there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the what bands are those? Are they the 0.5s?
0.5 and it's a 20 to 12 taper.
20 to 12, eh? I'm trying out. I've been trying out these precise cyans. I'm having a hard time getting anything from America without getting just chewed up in tariffs and shit. So
Yeah, no kidding.
yeah, so now I just gotta figure something else out until all that shit kind of goes away, if it ever goes away, and then I'll just go back to what I was doing before. But the Cyan seems to be performing pretty good. I just don't get the life that I had out of other bands. Like that's the one thing I wasn't a huge fan of the draw on Simple Shot, but the speed, the performance, and everything like that was great. I just found it was a little bit stiff for what I liked. But
Ooh.
the review that I did on it, like I was blown away by the performance of those things, man. Like I shot it through a can filled with water and out through the other side with Simple Shot. It's no joke. It's no joke.
Yeah, the thing, so Simple Shot has all the things that everybody wants except for the draw weight. So
Yeah.
it's got the life expectancy. I doubt on a regular basis you're going to find a band that can throw as many shots. And then it's got the from band, so from roll to roll, every latex is going to be messed up from roll to roll. Sometimes it's
It's normal.
0.51, sometimes
Yeah.
it's 0.47, whatever. So, but they're very, very consistent. For the bands that I've actually measured, Simple Shot tends to have a really small range of sizes.
Tighter
Um,
tolerances, so to speak, I guess.
yeah, they actually I don't know if this is supposed to be, I don't think this would probably be an issue me telling you guys this, but sometimes they'll spec them and they'll get rolls that are like 0.45. They
Oh
just
wow.
take them out. They just take them out. They don't sell them.
Huh.
So they'll get like a batch, and when they get those batches, they'll test them all. And if there's a bigger tolerance than normal, they just don't sell them.
You know what
So
though? That's badass though. I'm glad to hear that they're doing that because it's annoying. Like the BSB is a perfect example of a fall from grace. There's a company. There's a company that was on top of the world for elastic. Everybody was shooting it. Everybody loved it. Everyone sang their praises. And then whatever happened, their quality control went to shit. I experienced it myself. Whether their quality control went to shit or they changed the recipe or whatever it is, but it's good to hear that Simple Shot's actually doing that and making sure that they're getting the real deal.
yeah,
When all that tariff shit's gone, I am gonna try their point four because I know I was talking with Can Vandal a while back about that when they came out with their point fours, and he was talking about how great the stuff was, and I was like, fuck, you know what? I still have like half a roll of the point five, and it's good elastic, so I'm not going to get rid of it or anything, But
yeah.
whenever I decide to try something else, I'm gonna shoot it. The but the point four might solve that issue because I don't need that screaming speed anymore. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I do that for the reviews. But if I'm getting a consistent 270 feet per second and I'm able to put my shot on point from wherever I'm at, I really couldn't care less.
So what
you
what
know?
I do is I just keep the band a little long.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
instead of like, I can cut them across the roll. Like I can cut them at 150 and they're tight, and I'll get 100 shots out of it, and then they'll break.
But you've got a pretty long draw though. What are you like, around 32 or something?
Yeah, so I have like a 31 and a quarter. It's pretty close to 31 inch. So I have just long arms. But my when I'm there, I'm cutting my bands for wrap and tuck at 200
Oh yeah, I got you.
millimeter. So
Yeah.
I could cut them at 160, 170, and I could still use it. But I just give myself an extra couple of centimeters on there to first of all dial back the speed, because like you, I'm not looking for 350 feet per second.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I care a lot more about the longevity. I don't want to have to change my band every 100 shots.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing, and that's what my gripe is about this cyan. I've been getting around, oddly enough, the .45. I've been getting less shots through the .45 than I am out of the .4, which is strange. You would think
Yeah,
you would think it would be the opposite. The thinner elastic is going to wear out a little bit quicker, because you're stretching it more, blah blah blah. But the elongations are the same. They're both at 8. So I cut my bands the exact same way just to test them. And I got 350, close to 400 shots out of my first set. My second band set around the same. With the .45s, I've only been getting around 250. It's a good 100 shots different. And
that's so weird.
it can't be because they're overpowered for 8 mil steel. That's nonsense. You know?
No,
That's
no.
nonsense. Yeah.
The .4 simple shot I like a lot. I shoot 1/4 inch with that, and I use like a 15 to 10 taper, like a real thin taper. And I've been really enjoying shooting 1/4 inch a lot. And what's happening, I think, and I actually brought the gasser out here to test. So I've been using these simple shot pit pouches for like the last couple years. I love them; they're great. But I got recently some of their BB pouches. They're the large size of the BB pouches, and they actually fit 5/16, like a 8 millimeter steel, really nicely. They're just not a
Really?
pit pouch. So
Oh,
you can see
wow.
there's plenty of room in there. There's no pit in them. Good job. My little girl's been playing a bunch of video games. And there's a really tiny hole. So they have a center hole, but it's so small. Like, I don't
Yep.
know how well.
Yeah, it
But
looks like it's like a 16th or something.
yeah,
Little
dude,
punch hole.
I mean, that's an 8 mil ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to shoot this and test this a little bit, because I'm not sure if it's the pouch, because I've been shooting the BB pouches with the 1/4 inch steel. I'm not sure if it's the pouch, but when I shoot 1/4 inch with the right bands, I can't use my regular 95 millimeter fork width. I have to go to a 90.
Oh, interesting.
So the ball's faster. It's moving out of there faster, which I would think would go higher, right?
Yeah.
So if your ball's going too high, that typically means your fork is too narrow. But when I'm shooting them with a 95 millimeter fork width, the ball is coming low.
Have you cronied them for fun, just to see what kind of speed you're getting out of them?
So I haven't thrown the 1/4 inch over the chronograph. It's got to be moving faster though. It's got to be moving faster.
But maybe with
Um,
the smaller taper, it's not moving as fast as you think it would. You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe,
That
maybe.
could
I
be
don't
it.
know.
I don't know. I'm interested now. I want to put on my lab coat and
But
figure this shit out. Yeah.
so I have the Axiom that I can shoot, like the plastic ones or whatever, and 90 millimeter, man, those 1/4 inch are just bang on, boom, boom, boom. Soon as I throw like a 5/16 with that slingshot, I'm throwing it 2 inches high.
Oh, weird, eh?
And I'm almost always a 95 millimeter guy. So I'll use like a Scout LT, or I'll make my own. And I always make them in 95. And that's what I'm hitting. That's what I'm shooting.
Oh
But for
shit.
some reason, just moving to the smaller ammo and the lighter taper, and it's a humongous difference in draw weight, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, going from the .5 with a 20 to 12 down to .4 with a 15 to 10 taper.
It's ridiculous.
Dude, I'm only drawing like 6 or 7 pounds as it is anyway. I might be like 4 pounds.
And you
Like,
could probably pull it back with your brain, you know? You don't even need your hand. You can just will that thing back. I have a box of 2000 quarter inch here that I haven't even messed with too much. I took them out just to see what they would do, and I shot a couple of them at a target, and I was like, holy crap, I can't even see that thing move, you know? And then I passed one through the crony just to see what I was getting at. It was 345 feet per second, but I was shooting it. I was shooting it with a regular band set. So I never even thought about just dialing it back or just kind of really, trying a much smaller taper to see if it would do anything. And I was shooting it with point 0.5 or 0.55, I think it was.
yeah,
It was
it's a little
Southwest
overkill, I
Caddies.
think.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. I was shooting laser beams, man. It was insane. But I should probably get back to that and see, because I have a feeling that the quarter inch setup would probably still be good for clays. So if I got like a 15-10, for example, shooting shooting point 4, I think that would still be good for the clays that I shoot as well from time to
Yeah,
time.
your clay ammo and quarter inch have about the same weight to them.
About the same. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So your
Yeah.
bands should work for both.
Yeah, I was talking with Andy from singing Sling Clay about shooting clays and what taper he uses and all that stuff. And I went as low as 18 to 12, but I made my active band length longer to try to reduce the bandwidth, the band speed, and it made a big difference in the accuracy that I was shooting with them, but still not quite good enough for me to say, okay, I'll shoot clay. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
definitely an 8 mil steel guy, but I'm not opposed to trying out a quarter inch. I think that would be pretty decent. I would need some different pouches, I think, but my Warrior Mongol pouch would be good for that size.
Okay, so here's my honest opinion about clay. If you want to shoot slingshots and you want to be accurate and you want to hit your 30 mil spinner, your 20 mil spinner, and you want to be able to pop it with consistency and accuracy, skip the clay. Just skip it.
Oh yeah, I'm
If you're
100%.
looking to spray and pray or speed shoot for fun or shoot in an urban area or around a bunch of kids shooting to be safe, clay is no doubt the best bet.
Yeah, I,
People who
I
want to
I just
just go,
have I just have some fun targets that I want to shoot. Like I got my Texas Star, I've got my
yeah,
Battle Tree. Like I could shoot those things with steel, but I'll be buying a new one in about 3 weeks. You know?
yeah, that's another thing. So the safety implications, if you don't care about pinpoint accuracy and you just want to shoot cans and stuff,
Yeah,
or if you are in an area where it's going to be highly frowned upon, but you want to try to get away with it.
yeah, yeah. It's a good way to put it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I also have one of those. You ever see those targets they use for pellet guns, where you've got those little targets kind of hanging there, then you can hit that bottom one to reset them?
Yeah.
You ever see those? I've got one
Yeah.
of those too. I've also got another one that's got like a ram, a duck, a pig, a goose, and I think a chicken. I don't know. There's like 5 different targets on it, but it's all like heavy steel. So I know that if I'm not in the woods shooting at that thing, or uh, and if I want to shoot at my backyard, I should probably create a clay range for those things and not have to worry about, you know,
Yeah.
because the base of those things, it's thick, heavy, flat like angle iron. If you hit one of those with that steel, man, you have no idea where that's going.
Yeah, yeah.
You
You
know?
want in terms of safety, like when we do the Georgia Bushcraft show, there's like 5,000 people there.
Oh wow.
And we have a range in the back where there's basically nothing there. We can just go ahead and shoot and not have to worry about anything. But there's when we have like people show up, sometimes there'll be 4 or 5 kids in one spot shooting. There's 5 or 6 adults over here shooting. You got too many people in the vicinity, and any return to sender is going to look bad.
Oh
Any
yeah.
ricochet is going to look bad. And then we usually set up a big booth with a bunch of pop-ups like this, um, so that we have a carnival style shooting gallery. And in that area too, that's where everybody tends to gather up by the front of the event. And
And just
so
watching the shoot and having some fun.
you
Little
just
little shit
don't
talking.
you just don't want people throwing steel ammo in that type of environment.
Oh no. No. And even if something does happen, you get a Looney Tune that decides to shoot his buddy beside him or something like that.
Yeah.
At least the guy will be screaming, but he won't be bleeding. You know,
Yeah,
or
for
or
sure.
or or very much. You know. Yeah, dude, this is I'm pretty impressed with this thing, man. It's a pretty accurate shooter. It just fits so well.
I know it was a little wide. I have to start with them kind of wide in order to be able to sand them to the right size.
Yeah, I think that's what all builds, though. No,
Yeah.
when you want to get it dialed into the correct size and all that, you gotta.
Yeah, but the wood just when you're sanding wood, you're taking off a ton of material.
Yeah,
With like the G10, you're not taking that much material off.
it's
So,
actually surprising how little you take off on G10.
yeah.
I was kind of surprised.
So if you
Sand's really
make your
nice.
template like a millimeter too wide, you'll get there.
Yeah,
But with wood, you just have to be careful, man.
yeah,
Because you
and
can
also you never know what you're gonna get, right?
nah.
Like I don't know how many times have you started making an addy, you start going down, then all of a sudden you hit a punky spot in the middle of surrounded by good wood, and you're kind of like, fuck, what a waste, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. If you
Yeah.
That's one thing that the super glue can do really well. But they make a product, Minwax makes a product called wood hardener, and it's specific for punky wood.
Really?
Yeah, and what it is, it's a resin with acetone.
Okay, so it
So it's
soaks up
mixed.
real good. Yeah.
So you shake it up real good. What I do is I pour it in a plastic bag, and then I put the wood in there, and you can watch all the bubbles just come right up, and it's
Oh
penetrating real
wow.
deep. And then you have to let it dry for like an hour. Once you take it out, all that acetone evaporates, and the resin is left
Just
inside
stays
of it.
there. Oh, so the acetone is kind of used as a carrier to kind of pull it all in.
Yeah,
Interesting. Interesting. And so if you get like a questionable piece of wood, for example, and you see it right off the bat, but you think it's going to be a pretty chunk of wood that you should do it. Do you do you just throw the whole like get it basically roughed out, then just throw the whole thing in there, let it soak, and then work it after?
yeah. I'll get it like a block, so I'll cut it out where there's no curvature, but
Yeah.
it's pretty much how the shape that I want, like the outline. And then I'll throw it in there and let it soak. And then when I pull it out, I'll start working it, and then start pulling on it, doing the tests.
Yeah.
Do I hear? And you listen, because if you can move it and you can hear it, it's probably not good.
No. Yeah. I,
But
I can't
after,
remember. I think it was Big Dan Hood who had a video about that, talking about making slingshots out of wood frames and all that stuff. And he was actually testing his inside of a vise with I think it was Big Dan Hood. I can't remember, but he was giving it like a pull with a scale to see if it reached 50 pounds, and if it reached that, then he was saying it was good. I don't know if you have to go to that extreme, but I mean,
no,
I probably I probably wouldn't be shooting. I probably wouldn't be shooting a natty fork. But I think the whole purpose of that video was to try to deter people from cutting them from boards. I think that was the issue.
yeah. So boards are just unpredictable. That's the
Yeah,
problem. It might
and
be good for 1,000 shots, and then those grain lines are gonna be stressed. They're gonna break eventually.
yeah.
The difference is though that when we're shooting now, so what I remember that video, and what he did is he just clamped it in a vise, so it was like, kind of doing like this.
Okay,
But
so
we don't,
you saw the video then, right? I'm not
yeah,
crazy. Okay,
we don't shoot like that though.
no,
Like we don't shoot where there's a ton of leverage like
no.
this. It's
Yeah,
good
we're
that it's
we're
good
way
that
up
the
here.
thing can handle it.
Yeah,
Like that's still good that it can handle that, right? But we're way up on the fork. In all likelihood, your fingers are going to take 90% of the weight of it.
yeah,
The wood is just there for something to tie it to. You still want to be careful because again, a fork hit on a board, it's going to break.
yeah.
On a board cut, the worry isn't that it's structurally sound this way. The worry is if you fork hit it and then you still want to shoot it, there's going to be micro damage in there. And on a natural, because of the way that the grain lines are, it doesn't make any difference. If I hit that, all of those grain lines are going, they're actually like hugging where that
Hugging the
crack is
wound.
going to
Yeah.
go. So it's not going to make any difference. But with a board, your grain lines are like this or like this.
Yeah.
Eventually,
Or you
that
got
crack is going to work
run
its
out in
way
the
through.
grain and all that too, which is a nightmare. Yeah. How you doing, Luke? Yeah, actually, hold that one up there, Smo. Let's have a look at that thing. Yeah, that thing's crazy. You should see the other one, Luke, too. He's got a really nice gasser, too. A natty gasser that's just crazy. Yeah, it's beautiful. This is another one from Jordan also. Absolute beauty.
I got this spalted, what is this beach? Spalted beach?
Yep.
This is one Mark made me. We did the swap.
The thing I liked about that chunk of wood was that it has that really pale color, kind of a stripe going through it.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
And then I got this. This is one of those pieces that was just super punky. You can see all the spalting in there.
You got a pin in there too?
Yeah, I put a pin all the way through.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember you talking about this before. That's a beauty, man. Even with the jewelry in it, it's awesome. Yeah. What a piece of wood, though. Like, you had to do everything you could to save that thing if you could have.
Yeah, this is one that I soaked in that wood hardener, and then I put a pin through there, and then I also did a super glue coat. But I learned not to mix those two things because the super glue on the top of the resin, it doesn't work the same.
No,
It like made it weirdly sticky. It didn't cure very quickly. There was a bunch of weird stuff that went on with it. There's a bunch of like these white spots too. And it reacted that way when there's like a nick in the wood or like a gap, like a, what do they call it? Like a, when it's not super smooth.
Okay.
There was just like
weird.
holes or whatever. And it
Almost
reacted
like a
and
wormhole, kind of?
yeah, like maybe your saw made a cut in the wood that you didn't quite sand out or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just like a bunch of spots like that. Like right there's more. And so like it reacted with the super glue when I put the super glue on it, and it was turning white inside there.
Weird, eh?
It was so strange, but
it kind of looks cool though.
Yeah.
Well, at least it does on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much going on with that wood. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a crazy looking piece of wood. Really, really old. I mean, probably should not have made a slingshot out of it.
I disagree. Absolutely. But you know what sucks too is I made an Avro for Simon over at Wasp, and I had some pieces of wood that I got from Rick over at the Hillbilly Slings, and he sent me some reclaimed walnut, and it was gorgeous. Old walnut. I put the whole thing together. It came together great. Had a black micarta core with some G10 liners and the wood face on the front. Got her all sanded up, everything glued together. It went together flawless. Had and that was one of the ones I did the the CL finish on. Keep on calling PL. Fuck, I don't know what the fuck my problem is.
CA.
There it is. Fuck. Yeah, I got so many of these codes in my head. It's terrible, but I ended up sending it off to him in the. I ended up sending it off to him. Switched over to Royal Mail, and the fucking thing went missing.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I'm putting together another one for him. And I'm not gonna say I'm not happy with it, but because I know how good the first one came out, the charm of the fucking reclaimed wood is gone. I had to get like regular walnut and it looks like it's been glued together. I don't know. I'm not really happy with it. Actually, I'm kind of pissed off about it, to be honest. And I'm thinking about just scrapping it and starting over, and seeing if I can go to a local place and get them a nice one going again. Because I don't know.
That's crazy,
I don't know.
man. I hate that
Yeah,
shit.
but and the worst thing is I went to I called them up. I got one of my buddies over in the UK to try to help me out and track it down. They one of the guys told him that, oh no, it's going to be delivered on the 19th. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay. So we waited a little bit longer. I got a hold of Simon, let him know what was going on. And then 19th comes and goes. The thing still hasn't moved. It's lost. So I'm like, okay. I call them up. I want to make a claim. And they're like, no, you have to call your own country's mail service and they're going to proceed with it. So ever since then, I've been kind of bouncing around from I don't know, some bureaucrat to bureaucrat, just screwing up and wasting my time. And I still haven't gotten my money back, my claim for it or anything. I've got one more step to go before I go right to the chief, the chief of all chiefs, and we'll see from there. But it's like, fuck, man, this is stupid, and I don't think I'm going to be able to recreate that frame that I had going to him. So it's kind of sucks.
That's the worst part when like that's the worst part. I've done this a couple of times where I got right there and I was just like, God damn, this thing's gonna be great. And then I do something fucking stupid. I do something like I accidentally turn my drill press on with the wrong size bit in it.
Been there.
And then you're like,
Yeah.
no, no. Just something so dumb that you're not thinking about, like it's just something stupid that you did, and you just botched the whole thing.
Yeah. I've got I'm kind of at the I'm kind of at 75% now with my frames. I always tend to screw up one somehow. I don't know. I don't know how it is. I mean, I've been just letting them go as seconds. So, I mean, they're still very shootable. They're very shootable. They just look a little bit more rough. I guess you could consider them as a beater frame type thing.
Yeah,
And I let them go pretty cheap. I'm kind of looking for to recuperate my material cost and then pay for the shipping. It's pretty much it. You
yeah.
know?
When I make a slingshot, I always give myself like a grade on it. So if it's an
Mhm.
A grade, like if that's A grade work, that's a saleable frame that I'm gonna ask full price for. If it's B grade work, that means it's still a sellable frame. I'm gonna give a discount. I'm gonna point out what happened here. It's gonna be perfectly functional. It works. It's just a spot or two that's ugly. The pin is off or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
C grade work is something I'll shoot, but I probably wouldn't sell it. Maybe I'll do a trade. Maybe I'll
Give it to a buddy type thing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. And anything below C, like anything below that I feel is C grade that I won't even shoot. I'm giving it to the dog, or I'm doing so, I'm throw it in the fire, or I'm gonna
Yeah,
start
yeah.
over on it somehow. Like if it's an industrial material, if I made it with industrial materials, I'll just like start gluing more stuff on there. I'll start running it over the router in weird places and just doing weird things to it. So um
I have I have a nice one too that that had the exact same issue like you're talking about. I went and drilled the hole, and while I was drilling the hole, I was getting away from just holding the frame down and drilling it because I had that accident where it chopped up my finger pretty bad, and I started clamping my work. And the one fucking time I decide, I'm just gonna drill it. I'm gonna hold it tight. It's gonna be easy.
yeah,
It was a double core, so I went through the first bit, went through the first bit of aluminum into the next G10, and as soon as it touched that second core, boom! It started helicoptering on me, and I was like, "Fuck no!" Stop the machine, take everything down, ruin my drill bit, threw it in the garbage, and then I'm looking at the piece, and I'm like, I might be able to drill that out and make it a little bit bigger, and just put a bigger pin in there, and just leave it like, just like that,
yeah,
and put two big pins in it and call it good.
right.
Drilled the hole, thing fucking wandered on me again, and I'm like, I just lost it. I took that thing off and I sent it for a ride across my garage. Son of a bitch! Yeah, and it's and it sucked too because when you're doing aluminum cores, there's so much work that goes into it. Like using the burrs to shape it back out again, and bring everything down to the right size and all that.
Yeah.
It's just so much work and time and effort you put into it, and when you get it perfectly even, you're like, fuck yeah. And then something like drilling a hole screws it up because the laziness really is what it was. I
Yeah,
should
it's
have just clamped the fucking thing down.
and like you're not mad at anything except your own self because you know better. That's what the problem is. Like
Yep.
I knew better. I was trying to go fast. I wasn't thinking. Maybe there's a point where like you didn't do it intentionally, and you're just like, "What am I doing? What am I doing here?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. But
this is
also
why
getting tired. Getting tired is
yeah,
a big thing. When you've been in there for like 3-4 hours already, and it's like, okay, I should
yeah,
probably take a break or walk
Mark,
away. Yeah.
Mark, I don't get tired. I don't get tired.
No.
So no, I'm never tired. If I'm no matter how tired I am, I'm convincing myself that I'm not tired.
Oh no,
And
I've got the same problem until I make a mistake.
yeah,
That's the issue. That's the issue.
but
Yeah.
so this is why when I started making using industrial materials, I don't glue them without already having the pinholes drilled.
Ah, gotcha.
So when I glue my stuff up, I cut all my stuff on the router and I layer it with the tape and the glue. So it's tape and glue each layer, and I keep doing that on the router, and then I have all my pieces perfectly cut. Then I separate everything, or before I separate everything, that's when I drill my pinholes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And that way, when I glue up, I'm gluing the pins in at the same time I'm gluing all the layers, and then I'm clamping everything down, and the pinholes and pins keep all of the layers over the top of each other perfectly.
Yeah, so there's no moving.
There's
Yeah.
no sliding. That to me is the best way to go, especially with aluminum, because what I've noticed with aluminum is when you get either to or through the aluminum, the next layer will sometimes delaminate. That has happened to me a couple of times where like I get through the G10, I get through whatever, and then I hit the aluminum and it wants to pull.
Oh, I've never experienced that. I've never had that happen to me yet. It could just be the glue that I'm using. It's good with heat, so I don't know. Maybe it's that. I don't know, but I haven't had that problem yet.
I
The
don't know
only
what
the only
mine's rated for heat. I, I don't know what mine's rated for heat.
Yeah, mine's supposed to be good for heat. I've seen some reviews on it where a guy heated things up with a torch and then tried to separate it, and yeah, with pieces of wood and whatnot, and it was pretty good. I use C Tough. It's called C Tough. It's supposed. I mean, it's pretty solid. When I tested it out, I took 2 pieces of G10, of quarter-inch G10, and I glued them like this. And then I let it sit. I let it cure for 24 hours. And the next day I came out and I locked it into a vise and I tried hitting it with a hammer, and the G10 actually split instead of the thing letting go. So I'll take that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good stuff.
yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah.
So when you're aiming, do you try to control the movement like that?
What I've noticed recently is it's very recent actually. I noticed on my draw, you know how I always anchor first and then I extend my arm.
Yeah.
I would extend my arm, and my fork tip would be moving around like this, I guess. And I was going around, and I used to always time my shot until I was hovering over the target, and I'd aim and I'd shoot it. Now I'm making more of a conscious effort to really lock in my frame hand, because I'm
Yeah.
pretty confident in my release at this point. So I'm trying more to focus more on locking in my frame hand to really, really control where that fork is moving around. And I've seen another increase in my accuracy because of it. So I know Chris Graffin did a pretty interesting video on that, trying to keep it perfectly still as impossible, and he's correct. But getting it to move and focusing on it to be moving as minimal as possible, I find makes a huge difference.
So I used to go back and forth, side to side, like
Yep.
this, or do like a little tiny circle,
Yeah, me
right?
too.
And then when I would hit the peak of the circle, like the 12 o'clock position of the circle, I would try to pause briefly and then let it go. And now what I'm doing is I'm just going up and down. So I go up. So if it moves, I just drop it and raise back up. Drop it, raise back up. That's exaggerated. Obviously, it's micro
Yeah.
movement, but
Yes.
if I'm not quite there, and I try to get it to where I can just pause very briefly and let it go.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that that's making a big difference, and just like having it there. So when you're like out, and then it's like, drop up, drop up, go. So as soon as I can pause for just a split second, I'm letting it go.
Yep. And that's basically what I'm doing too. But I usually start from the top and I start bringing my fork tip down until I'm on, like, say, if I'm shooting at my nose, I'll bring my arm out, I extend my arm, I start to drop it. Once it reaches there, I try to pause it and I let it rip. And it's been working. It's been working. So I'm gonna keep at that for a little while and see how that works. But I know a lot of the frame hand kind of waggling around a little bit seemed almost uncontrollable, seemed kind of weird. And I was like, you know what? I think that's a lot of my issue is I'm still moving by the time I release, and that's no good. You know?
Yeah. You want it to be as little movement as possible, but I think if you can try to control the movement in your head somehow, that it makes a difference.
And that actually brings me back to that video that I did about sight picture. And I know not everybody agreed with my method, and then that's okay. But the main point I was trying to make in that whole video is that if you are focusing on your fork tip hovering over your target, which is blurry, or having your blurry fork tip hovering over your target that's sharp, pick one. Doesn't make much of a difference. You don't want your eye going back and forth. And when you're doing that, you will see your frame hand get more under control. So for whatever reason, with your focus on the target or the focus on your fork tip, when you're hovering over the target, you will see your movement kind of get reduced a little bit, and it seems less prominent than it would be if you're going back and forth with your vision. So that was part of the thing. And I mean, that was something that my dad had taught me a bunch of years ago. Shooting handguns was kind of the same thing. Was try to focus on your target, hover on your sights, hover over your target, and shoot like this. And I found that it made a big difference on my accuracy. My groups got way smaller, and everything seemed to be more under control. But it didn't really matter uh, which one you did. It just mattered if as long as you're not switching back and forth with your eyeballs.
Yeah, you want it to
with
be
your vision.
consistent.
Yeah, but I think all of those things might actually come together and help each other out. But I know everyone was always talking about your release, and that's a huge part of your accuracy. But I think it's probably more of a maybe a 70-30 deal, you know, release and then frame hand versus the other way, because there's a lot to it also. I was talking about in a recent live of mine using cues from your body to hold your equipment. So I take the crease of my finger and I always lock that up on the side of the frame. So when I'm in a full draw, my forks are stacked on top of each other. So that eliminates one thing I have to worry about tweaking when I'm getting ready on my shot. And the placement of my pouch, I use this line on my finger and I line my pouch up, the edge of my pouch up with that, and I try to use the same width pouch every single time so the ball position is always in the same spot. And I use those little cues to try to line up everything while I'm getting ready to shoot. I mean, we're looking pretty good there,
Yeah.
you know? We're looking pretty good there, and it seems to be a reliable thing. So once you get that whole muscle memory thing down, I think, and you've got those little body cues you could use for your slingshot, for your pouch, for your anchor point, and everything becomes super repeatable. I mean, you've already eliminated a bunch of problems, so now you just have to worry about your release and then possibly your frame hand. You know?
Yeah. If you had like a mechanical release, or if you used like, those pouches with the little magnet in there,
Yep.
and you can just pinch like the tag at the end, so like how you hold it doesn't make too big of a difference.
Yep.
Even using those and taking your release out of the equation, you're still gonna miss. And so
Yep.
if it's 100% in the release, then you would never miss with those tools. But because you're going to miss even with those tools, there's something else going on there. And if it's not the release hand, it's probably something else in your frame hand.
Yep.
And a lot of people I've seen like do that type of thing where they'll shoot like this,
Yep.
but they do it every time, every shot exactly the same way.
Not a
Okay,
problem.
not a
Yep.
problem.
Not a problem. But when it becomes inconsistent, that becomes a problem.
Yeah, well, when
You
you're
know?
doing this sometimes, and then this sometimes, and then you're back here and then back forward, and
But yeah,
you can't repeat it, that makes it hard. So for me, I try to eliminate all those things because if I can't repeat it every single time the same way, I'm not going to shoot the same way. So
yeah,
I'm trying to shoot in exactly the same way every single time.
yep. And that's why I use those little markers on my body to try to line up everything properly every single time, and it seems to be working. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see you shoot in a competition, man. I'd love to see you come down and show us Yanks what's up.
Yeah, right. I would be pretty happy if I made it into the top 10 though, being honest. But I don't know. It would be fun. I would definitely like to do it at some point.
But you guys got performance enhancing syrup up there. I hear
Yeah,
so.
yes, we do. We're all hopped up on the good stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
Performance performance enhancing syrup. I'll bring some down just so it's an even playing field.
I'm telling you, man, that's what I want to see. I'm not being facetious here. I really want to see all the major sports just let people take whatever they want.
You know
Like
what?
I
There's
pay
actually somebody working on that.
dude, I pay money for I pay money for my red zone. I pay money for YouTube. Well, I don't pay money for YouTube. Netflix. I pay money for Disney. I pay money for Sling TV. I pay money for ESPN. Like I'm paying for the product. I buy the jerseys. I go to the games. I watch.
Yeah.
And that to me means that I'm the payer, which is like the person paying me to do a job.
Hmm.
And what I want to see as a payer is
Enhanced
the
games.
I want to see the craziest mutants that science can create competing on the battlefield.
Yep. Me too. Yeah.
So I want to see it. Just to let them take whatever drugs they want to take. Let them take whatever they. I don't care that they're clean. I don't. I know that I'm not going to get out there. I'm not going to pretend that I can compete with them. And in my opinion, the only thing that banning the drugs is doing is it's making it so that they are just not talking about it. Because the guys are still doing it.
Yeah, of course they are. They're still cheating anyway. Half of them are getting
so,
away with it. But
so
can
it's
you
like,
imagine like some gorilla like the mountain from Game of Thrones doing the rings in the Olympics, with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, just grunting, you know? It, 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 it would be amazing.
dude,
Yeah.
imagine if okay, so if Barry Bonds was taking steroids,
Yeah.
okay, great. If you put a championship bodybuilder on the Giants behind at home plate with a baseball bat, he's never going to hit a ball.
No. No.
He's never going to make contact. Okay,
No.
Barry Bonds still had to have an unbelievable skill set in
Oh
order
yeah,
to
for
do
sure.
what he did.
For sure.
The fact that he took steroids means nothing to me because he
No.
was a freak before he started doing it. He was a freak after he started doing it. He had a specific skill set, and in my opinion, I want to see home runs.
And
I
and
want
that's
to
why
see
you're watching.
I
Yeah.
want to see him rip the cover off the ball. Like I want to see that happen. If you're taking that away from him, you're taking it away from me too.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
But if syrup does give us an edge, you got to bring it.
I'll bring it. I'll bring it. Ooh, that was terrible. What the hell happened there?
No, I was like, I'm a huge Chicago Bears fan, so you can imagine my yearly misery this time of year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Um, dude, I don't know what's gonna happen with this team, but after each game over the last few seasons when they've lost, I've sat there like contemplating my life. Like, what am I doing with my life right now? Like,
I had to stop watching football because of that, Smo. No joke. No joke. I was like a rabid New York Jets fan. It's embarrassing to say. Please don't shame me. But man, it got to a point where I walked everywhere with my Curtis Martin jersey on. Everywhere I went, I had that on there. I had a golf bag, a Jets golf bag, golf club covers. I had a backpack. I had T-shirts. I had socks. I had everything. I had a cup. I had everything you can imagine. I was a psycho. I would see a guy walking down my street. My dog would start barking. I look out the window. There's a guy walking around with a Jets jersey on. I'm pounding on my window, giving him the thumbs up. It's like, dude, I got friggin' problems. And then I just got my heart broken so many fucking times, man. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. I'm like, fuck this. And I'm not the type of guy that's gonna switch teams just so I can keep watching football. I'm like, no, I'm a Jets fan. That's it. I'm gonna die a Jets fan, but I can't. I can't. I can't watch. I can't do it.
Dude,
I kind of keep tabs on them when they win and lose and whatever it is, but
yeah.
it's like being a Jets fan is kind of like growing up in the ghetto. If you want to have some cereal for breakfast, yeah, you can have cereal, but you're not gonna have fucking milk for that cereal. If you can, if you want to have an all dressed hot dog, yeah, you can have an all dressed hot dog. You're gonna get a fucking hot dog wiener, but you're gonna have all the toppings. You're gonna have no bun. It's the same shit all the fucking time. They've got they, they've got they've got 75% of the team that they need, and they're always missing that one other side, and they figured, fuck it, we'll just let it go.
Look, there are right now in the NFL, there are 12 teams that have never won a Super Bowl. There are 4 teams that have never played in a Super Bowl. Okay. The Bears have their Super Bowl. They have a legendary 1985. I was born in 1985. They have their legendary team, one of the best teams all time. Every time somebody makes a top 10 teams of all time list, that team is on there, right?
Yeah.
They were a founding franchise in the NFL. They have the oldest rivalry in the NFL. The founder of the team, George Halas. He didn't found the team, but he bought the team when they were the Staleys, and then he moved them to Chicago, renamed them the Bears, played with the Bears, and he coached them with half a dozen championships before the Super Bowl started and all this stuff. George Halas is Papa Bear. He's the man, right?
Yep.
George Halas played and won the World Series with the Yankees.
Holy shit.
Okay, he won a World Series. He has a World Series championship ring with the Yankees. You're talking about just a pure, true, hardcore American, right?
Yeah.
And their biggest rivals, the Bears' biggest rivals, are constantly, every year, one of the best teams in the league. Every single year. The team that the Bears are rivals with, their legendary head coach is who the Super Bowl trophy is named after.
That's crazy, eh?
Okay, dude, you cannot have more misery than being a Bears fan, because despite our one Super Bowl championship, we're just perennial losers. And the team that's our biggest rivals are perennial winners. That's the hardest part. If we were in a division like with the AFC North right now, where the Steelers were a legendary franchise, yes. But every year someone wins that division, you never know who it's going to be. It might be the Bengals, it might be the Ravens, it might be the Steelers. It's usually never the Browns. But imagine being in a division where you just don't know who's going to be the champion. You just every year, well, this team's been good a couple years, and then this team's been good a couple years. This team's been good. It's not like that.
No,
Once every 10 years, the Bears win the division. They do nothing in the playoffs. Then Green Bay wins it for 5 or 6 of those years. Minnesota wins it for 2 or 3 of those years. Then the Bears get a miraculous season again. The only thing I can say is, at very least, I'm not a Lions fan or a Browns fan.
Yeah, that's brutal.
The Lions have been around since before the Super Bowl era. They've never been to a Super Bowl. They've never been to a Super Bowl.
And you think of some of the players that they had on their teams too,
dude, amazing.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
It's like you're talking a few of the top 10 best all time.
Yeah, a few.
Like Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson are, in my opinion, top 10 in their position, maybe top 3
ever.
Yeah.
And people forget, just go back on a highlight reel and check out Barry Sanders,
Dude,
Go
Barry Sanders
go back.
highlight. Barry Sanders is a highlight reel.
It's football porn.
Yeah.
It totally is.
And that organization drove both of those guys to early retirement too.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of those teams, they use those players when they're not willing to put enough money into the rest of the team. They use them as workhorses and they wear them out real quick. I mean, Curtis Martin was the same thing too. I mean, they ran that guy up and down that field over and over and over again until his knees were gone.
Yeah, he was the only good player on the team at that time.
Oh yeah, him and Wayne Corbett back in the early days, but all the rest of them were just like who days,
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, and here I am. I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I'm excited to watch the game today.
That's true love, man.
Yeah,
That's what that is. Yeah.
my
That's
wife
true
will
love.
never have to worry about me not being loyal.
No. Who are they playing today?
They're playing the Lions.
Should be all right. Lions aren't doing all that great this year, are they?
They looked pretty bad in their first game against Green Bay, but I think that has more to do with how good Green Bay is rather than how bad the Lions are.
Yeah. Hey, did anybody watch that boxing match yesterday with Canelo and Crawford? Anybody watch that? I'm curious who won.
Ooh.
They need Joe Namath back. Yeah, sure they do.
Need Joe Namath.
Yeah.
Need to start cheering on the Raiders. Okay, I'll tell you. I don't watch a whole bunch of sports. Okay, I really only watch football, and occasionally, if a good MMA fight, a good MMA match is on, I'll watch the UFC. But and I like to watch baseball if the Cubs are doing well. But in terms of football, I'm obsessed with football. I'm obsessed with the NFL. I watch Red Zone every Sunday. I watch as much football as I can tolerate. There are several teams that I absolutely despise. First and foremost is the Green Bay Packers. I hope their plane crashes on the way to wherever they're going. I do not want the Packers to win nothing ever. So
Ever again.
no matter who is playing them, I'm cheering against the Packers. For some reason, and I have no good reason why, there are two other teams that I will consistently root against as long as they're not playing the Packers.
Please tell me one of those is the Patriots.
No, one of them is the Cowboys.
Oh.
Since I grew up, I always rooted against the Cowboys. Maybe it's because my dad rooted against Cowboys. I don't know why. I have nothing against the Cowboys. I just want to see them lose. I don't know why. The second team is the Raiders. And again, I have no good reason for this. I don't know why I want to watch the Raiders lose. It's just a visceral reaction when the Raiders are playing. I'm cheering against them for some reason. I want to see them lose. I don't know what it is. I have nothing against Raiders. I have nothing against Raiders fans. I love going to Las Vegas. I've been there a few times. I love Vegas. I just don't know why, but I will find myself rooting for whoever is playing them. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
And the Patriots, listen, from the very early stages, I called it. I said Tom Brady is going to be one of the best quarterbacks of all time. I know it's going to happen.
So did I even. Because I was a Bledsoe fan, and when I saw him come out in that Super Bowl performance, and he was pretty much perfect, I was kind of like, well,
yeah,
this guy's going to be something, regardless of what you think. He played a very clean game, which is very important. He didn't get rattled at all for a rookie like that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Listen, I'll give you a stat that proves to you how good Tom Brady is. The worst all-time win percentage for any NFL team belongs to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They started in like the 70s, I think, and for like 15 years they were so bad that I think collectively at that point they doomed their franchise for like a long time. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers win percentage all time is something like a 440. So that
Oh,
they
fuck.
win like all time. They've only won 44% of their games. Tom Brady played 23 seasons in the NFL. He went to 10 Super Bowls. He has a better Super Bowl appearance percentage per season than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have win percentage in the entire history of their team.
That's crazy.
That means that Tom Brady during his career was more likely, percentage wise, to make it to the Super Bowl than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were to win a game.
When you put it that way, you know, go Jets. Holy smokes! And you know what? I kind of liked. There was a couple of seasons where I actually started watching the Bucks play a little bit, only because of Mike Alstott.
Mike Alstott was the man.
Dude,
Mike Alstott was the man.
yeah, what a
Dude,
beast.
me and my brother played NFL Street when
Yeah,
we were growing up. It was by far our favorite game to play. And the only player I would play with in the backfield was Mike Alstott.
just watching him run over people it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Dude was like a defensive lineman playing fullback.
Yeah.
I think he weighed like 270 pounds or something, 265 pounds.
Oh, it's like they
Just
shaved a gorilla and put a helmet on him. Really,
dude,
you
he
know?
had one of the neck pads that the lineman would wear.
Yeah, yeah. He was so crazy. Yeah, he was really really good, man. He was really good. Fun to watch.
Ah,
Yeah, my brother played major junior football for a bunch of years, and he had this guy that just showed up from one of the younger ages, and my brother had just finished his last season. And he started coaching, and this kid shows up, and he was one of those kids that were reminiscent of Mike Alstott, and he was kind of the same thing. He was a big beefy kid, and he'd just run through the line. He'd just like bang, bang, just smashing his head down, and you'd see bodies just lying on the ground after everywhere he ran. It was just insane. It was fun to watch, but unfortunately the team was filled with a bunch of gangbangers, and almost every single, like, we played against this team called Chateauguay. It's like they were called the Chateauguay Raiders, by the way.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
would same colors, the whole deal, and they played 4 times in the season. All 4 times, the police were called. There was bench clearing brawls, but just absolute stupidity going on, and it was all because this kid would be running over people, and then things would get chippy, and you'd see the coaches. They would stand there like this on the sideline, watching, 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 and you'd see the guy go like this with his clipboard, go, and the whole bench would clear out, and it was like, oh shit, here we go. Yeah, yeah, it was crazy.
This dude wrote, "Pro
Oh,
sports is a
Brave the
joke and
Wild.
some of the most unintelligent thing a dude can watch. Imagine wearing some other dude's jersey like you're his boyfriend." Bro, imagine being so insecure that you have to judge another grown man on what he likes and what he doesn't like. Like, I mean, I don't know if you need a hug or something, bro. I don't know.
I got something for him. Hang on a second. Go Brave the Wilds. Fucking douchebag. I, lo- I love these guys. They just kind of pop in long enough to be a dickhead, and then they disappear. Get so many of these guys.
Same with branded clothes. Yeah, like who gives a shit about the brand of your clothes, man? Honestly, like wear what you want. Who cares? God. You know how lonely and sad you have to be in order to be judging people like that? Like,
And it's endlessly too. Unfortunately, there's so many people that are doing that, getting kicks out of it.
I heard this thing that somebody was saying, like, people who are doing better than you will never be the ones that judge you.
You think so?
Yeah, people that are
Oh,
doing
maybe.
better than you don't
Yeah.
care about you. They don't.
No,
They don't.
that's true.
They're not going to spend their time judging you. They got better things to do.
That's actually pretty good. I kind of like that.
I'm a sports fan also, but I'm not wearing another man's name on me. Hawk, that's fine, but you don't. I'm not going to judge you for doing it. Like I don't care if you do it or don't do it. I'm not going to go into somebody's. I'm not going to go into somebody's social media when they're having a good time talking about the things that they love and judge them for loving those things. Ooh. Okay, so here's something I'm noticing. My steel spinner, the one at the top, is the right height for the knockdowns. The white spinner right here is about a foot lower. So it's about, so
Yep.
so much lower. Maybe 15 inches. I'm not sure exactly how low. When I'm aiming dead center on the one that's low, I'm hitting it in the center. So if I get a good clean shot, I center punch it. When I'm aiming the same way up here, I'm hitting it on the bottom. And it's enough force to get it to go, but it's, halfway, let's say, between center and the edge.
The fuck was that?
Why do you think that's right? Why do you think that's happening? I just missed that one.
It could be the arc of your shot. I guess you're not still going up. You're on your way back down when you're hitting that on the top. The lower one you're aiming lower, so it's going to land a little higher, possibly.
Well, I would think at that distance, the actual arc would be the same.
But because it's lower, just try that for fun. Just aim your shot, and when you're going down to meet it, just pivot at the waist and shoot at it and see what happens. So aim like you're going to shoot at the top one, and then pivot at the waist without moving your form, and then shoot lower.
Oh, I hit that one on the right side. It was still pretty well centered though, like height wise. Now I'm shooting low.
Oh, weird, eh?
No, that's you're right. I'm shooting low because on the top one I'm shooting low.
Oh.
So let's do it in reverse. Let's aim like I would aim at this one and then raise it. I just missed that one.
Oh.
I'm focusing too much now on my body instead of actually looking at the target.
That's also something that can get you a little bit. Is trying to practice it to where all these things become muscle memory, so you don't have to think about it. I think all the thoughts kind of mess you up.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Think you solved it?
Yeah, I think you solved it.
Oh.
Yeah, I just shot low on that one again. Holy moly.
I also have ATO pajamas. Oh, Al, you're the best.
Judge someone else on it. I'm just saying me personally. Yeah, I think that catch myself doing the same. I would move the frame instead of hips. Yeah, it's crazy because I'm just at this range. I can hit them pretty well either way. But what I'm noticing is that I'm center punching that low one, and I'm hitting the bottom half of the high one. hit
I
the,
I,
hit the,
I heard
hit
I
the
heard the
cord on
tink.
that one.
That was nice.
Yeah, I
Those
hit
things
the
sound
cord.
fantastic. Oh, that was the cord. What made that noise? That tink sound?
No, I hit the target, but where the cord intersects it.
Oh. I had found that kind of
That's
works
it.
for both high and low. And I'd found that when I was shooting, when I was trying to shoot high and I was meeting my arm, I was having my arm kind of reach its way up there. I couldn't get my pouch to wind up in the same spot by moving my shoulders. So I started to eliminate kind of that mess. I started to always aim straight up and then meet my target at the waist, and it made a huge difference. My shots were landing exactly where they wanted to, and from distance, like if I was shooting up in a tree, for example, I would measure the distance from me to the tree straight up ahead of me, and then I would just do my tilt back and shoot that. So if it's 10 meters, but it's more like 12 or 14 meters, I'm shooting up, I would still measure the shot from 10 meters because we're shooting away from gravity, and it seemed to keep on landing in the exact same spot. Something fun to try out anyway. But I had more success doing that.
There we go. There's a bigger gap apart, then you will start frame hitting if you don't move your hips. I haven't had knock on wood. I haven't had a frame hit in a long time, but I think what's happening is I just need to tilt there. Freaking bee flying around me. So instead of being like that,
Yeah.
even just that little bit, I have to.
Yep, that's it.
Can you hunt turkey with a slingshot? Well, I don't know if it's legal to hunt turkey with a slingshot. I doubt it's legal in any state in the United States to hunt turkey with a slingshot, but you could kill them with one for sure.
Oh yeah, I would imagine that would be pretty easy pickings for those slow walking dummies with their heads up in the air. it would that would be bad news.
If you draw more toward the top target, you won't get that. Either pivot or draw towards top target. I think I flicked my wrist on that one. Too much practice equals 4 hits.
I've been pretty lucky. I think the last time I had a fork hit was a couple of years ago, and it was on that Prime Fork. It sent me a Casper to review, and I was out just trying to get used to it, do a little bit of shooting with it, and it was like minus 25 outside. I was being a fucking stupid ass Canadian shooting in the fucking cold, and my hand my hand started getting cold, and I went to draw back. You know when your hands get cold, they get dry. I start to draw back, and the fucking thing slips out of my hand, and I hit the epoxy resin on the backside and blew the thing up. I had parts all over the snow in the backyard, and I'm like, no. I'm supposed to review this thing in a couple of days, you know? I was like, ah, fuck. I had to send him a message. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry, man. I was just trying to do a little bit of research on it and see how it felt and try to get it dialed in, and I just blew up that thing, man. There was parts of Slingshot everywhere. I scavenged everything and put it all together again, and I glued the thing together. Luckily, Andrew's a really solid dude, and he didn't fucking hate me too much for that. But yeah, that was tough one. I still did the review though, but it was it was a heartbreaker.
Everyone is used to drawing at a certain height and then moving up or down to get on target, so they have to pivot. I just draw towards what I'm shooting so I don't pivot. Yeah, I
But
don't know. I don't think I do that.
in the end, you're still accomplishing the same thing. So if you're drawing and you're shooting something low and you've got your arm down and your other elbow up higher, or in your case, you're doing a full draw, it's still kind of the same thing because you're maintaining that position, right? That whole T position is the most important thing to keeping everything even. As soon as you have one higher than the other or lower than the other, that's where you run into problems with the elbow for us short draw shooters. There's if
Yeah.
I mean if you're constantly going to shoot like this and have that speed bump and you're able to repeat that over and over and over again, then it's gonna work it out. But I
I
just
don't.
found that I wasn't able to get that as consistent as possible. So I started doing the pivot. I'd aim out straight and I'd do the pivot at the waist, and that gave me all my solved my issue. But real Canadians are smart.
What is
Only the French ones.
the best bands for hunting depend completely on what you're hunting and how you're drawing.
I think on that, I think the best tip I can give anybody on any kind of shooting, whether it's hunting or for target shooting, is try to get the lowest draw weight you can while still being effective for what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to go out and do some hunting, a lighter draw weight is going to equate to better accuracy. So I would definitely try to get the lightest draw weight you can by still being able to take your game or hit your target as accurate as possible. That's probably the most thing. Shot placement in hunting or in target shooting, shot placement is key. That's number one. So if you're going to shoot say point 0.7 and you need to reach say 270 feet per second to get that speed to be able to hit or whatever. I'm just throwing out a number here, but whatever speed you need to create the amount of joules that you need of impact with that 3/8 steel or whatever it is that you're using to stop the animal or to hit the target, you want to be able to get that set up to be as light as possible back here so you can have a cleaner release. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, accuracy over speed for sure.
100%. Yep.
But however, if I if I shoot if I shoot a shot that's only going 100 feet per second, it doesn't matter if I can hit their eyeball.
No.
So you have to have the right amount of energy, and you have to deliver that energy to a precise location.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly.
when people say
Exactly.
when people say accuracy over speed, what they actually mean is that as long as you have enough speed.
Yep. As long as you have enough speed required to do what you need to do. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, like if I was going to go out and hunt a moose, um, you're going to need a cannon.
Yeah.
You're going to need you're going to need a bowling ball. Yeah, like you got to shoot something humongous. It's got to be traveling supersonic. Like you need big ammo, very very fast. But when you're talking about hunting with a slingshot, typically you're talking about hunting small game, and small game aren't difficult to kill. The problem with them is that they're difficult to hit. So you have to be a good shot in order to do it, but there has to be enough speed in order to for the shot to be effective. So you have to be able to hit it. That's number one. But a very close number two is the energy needs to be sufficient to take the game.
The rule that I would probably go by, if you're able to puncture a soup can at 15 meters with the steel that you're using, if you're able to puncture a soup can at 15 meters, maybe even a little bit plus, and put a good dent in on the backside, you should be pretty good. That's plenty of zip onto what you need, and it's surprisingly like for 3/8 steel at 15 meters, around 250, 260 feet per second is enough to puncture a can with a 3/8 steel at that distance. So I would probably want a little bit more speed than that, me personally, but that's something you'd have to work out yourself.
Hawk, I don't have that problem. The lighter the draw weight, the easier it is for me to aim. Period. I was just talking. We were talking earlier about my 1/4 inch steel setup. So my 8 mil steel setup, I'm drawing about 7 pounds to my face, like 7.5 pounds. My 1/4 inch steel setup is about 4 pounds, and I am in term like 10 meters. It's way easier for me to aim it. Um, I do not have a problem going lighter at all, but that's just me. Um, yeah, the thing is, your ammo makes a big difference too. Like, um, heavier ammo will carry more energy even at slower speeds.
Yep.
So, like, if you're throwing 1/2 inch steel downrange, it does not need to be moving very fast. You can get away with 180 feet per second, 200 feet per second. 1/2 inch steel will take whatever you hit with it. Um,
There's actually an interesting chart online that you can get to tell you how many joules an 8 mil steel, a 9.5 mil steel, or an 11 mil steel will give you at traveling a certain amounts of speed. And there's a calculator you could check out too, but it'll show you what those joules or what's required to actually stop each animal effectively. Also, I think I got that off of the. I think I saw it on the Slingshot forum, but you might be able to find that chart again. It's pretty an easy Google search will pull it up for you. So as long as you know how much your ammo weighs and how fast your ammo is going, you'll get that information down there. And I think it was like 7 or 8 joules. I think it was 8 joules for a rabbit or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I mean, for me, when I was calculating that out, for me to reach that speed to say drop a rabbit with an 8 mil steel, for example, I'd need to be going around 300 feet per second. So that's a pretty hot fucking band. So in my
rabbit
case,
for a rabbit?
yeah, that's what they were saying
Yeah,
on that sheet.
I
It
think
may
that
be a
might
little
be.
overkill.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit
Yeah.
overkill. I know a guy, I won't name him right now, who killed a rabbit with clay ammo.
Oh, I know a guy too who's
Yeah.
done the same thing. Yeah.
So, and I doubt
Yeah.
it was going 300 feet per second, and they
Yeah.
weigh less than half of what an 8 mil steel weighs.
Yeah.
So,
It might have even been a squirrel he was talking about, and squirrels are notoriously tough for their size.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
squirrel's a little
but
tougher.
yeah, but I mean, a headshot. If you're hitting headshot, you're, oh, if you're hitting headshots with your 8 mil steel, and you're going to be puncturing things, no problem with that. They got a good puncturing the diameter, I guess. But you see, in all the testing that I've done with shooting on cans, I always found that the 8 mil steel punctured much better, getting complete pass throughs. But when you look at the dent that's left in those steel cans from the 9.5 mil steel, you could see where the damage is. It's not just about puncturing. You can shoot something small like that and it's going to pierce a small hole. But when you hit it with the 9.5, it puts a small hole but a giant dent. And you can imagine of that 9.5 mil steel hitting a skull, for example, it's going to puncture, but it's also going to splinter everything in there to causes way more damage on
Yeah,
the way in.
penetration is not what we're after.
No, blunt force
Penetration
trauma.
penetration should be the last thing on your mind when you're talking slingshots. What you want is energy.
Yep.
Does not matter if you get penetration, because if you can, like Hawk just said it right here. I've hit a couple squirrels, no penetration, get it just shocks the inside. I think I've only like actually gotten the ball into a squirrel once or twice ever.
Oh wow,
Typically when I hit squirrel, I can watch the ball ricochet off their head.
that's crazy.
And dude, and it happens every time. And if I get a good clean side from the side, this
Yeah, in the ear
happens,
hole type
bing,
thing.
dude, they're out like a
Yeah.
light. Taking rabbit with 1/2 inch clay. Squirrels are no problem with clay if you hit the chest or head. I don't think so. I wouldn't shoot clay at a squirrel. I wouldn't shoot clay at game at all.
No, me either.
There's not there's but I would venture a guess that most birds would be pretty easy to take with clay if you could get a headshot. And rabbits are so rabbit
So delicate.
if you get the shot close enough to a rabbit, you'll spook it to death.
Yeah.
not all about penetration, but the motion of the ocean. Oh man.
It definitely does. When you start messing around with those things and you see what kind of damage these steel, different size steel will do. Like what's that guy over in Alaska? He has that channel. Does you did a builder swap with him, I think.
Oh,
Fuck's his name?
Mike
Yeah,
Sturm.
yeah. He's got a bunch of hunting videos on there, and he mainly shoots 8 mil steel. Sorry, 11 mil steel. So you could imagine, I've seen him bounce one of those things right off a rabbit and not kill it. So he's shooting 11 mil steel, and that guy's a hell of a shot. Like you've seen some of the shots he shot on his channel while he's out hunting and stuff. You know, there's a lot of crazy shit that can happen, but if you're going to be out, I can't shoot 11 mil steel for shit, but I'm okay with 9.5, and I'm pretty good with 8 mil. So I would definitely shoot a 9.5 in my case, but shooting a hot band that I can still control at the anchor point would be the best way to go about it, I think.
I was throwing 11 mil steel for my hunting forever, and I switched to the 9.5 because the drop off is much less, and I'm still getting plenty of energy. But
Oh
I
yeah,
shoot when I go out to hunt and I'm trying to get a couple of squirrel. I got real hot bands on there.
yeah.
Um, I'll usually use a 0.7 with like a 21 to 14 taper, and they're basically maxed. So
Oh wow,
I get this kind of stretch, like that's it.
yeah,
And with a 9.5 mil steel, I'm shooting like 275 feet per second with that. 280 feet per second. Like
yep,
I have no worries if I hit that thing, it's dead. It's toast.
yeah. And that's from what I was messing around with all those things. The taper that I had found that I got the best zip on that was 24 24 to 15, and my goodness, the amount of speed that I was getting off that was just stupid. It was crazy. And with Sniper Sling Black, I had 315 feet per second with 9.5 mil steel. You know, you could almost hear the sonic boom when you let that thing go. It was stupid.
What do you get, about 6 shots before you got to change the bands out of that?
Oh yeah, I didn't even get 50 shots out of it. I didn't even get 50 shots out of that band set. It just croaked.
Ah, yeah.
You have a question for me, Sergio? Go for it, buddy.
My team is Vikings. Oh no. I have precise yellow, 0.75, 22, 110. I don't have a chronograph. What speed is with 10 millimeter steel ball? 0.75, 22 centimeters. My draw length is 110 centimeters. I don't have a chronograph. What speed is with 10 mil ball? Well, that would depend on your taper. So whatever kind of taper you have on there.
And you're active, also.
It
Yeah.
looks like you said it's 22 centimeters is
Oh,
active.
okay. So he must shoot long draw, I'd imagine.
He said draw length is 110 centimeters.
Yeah, mine's 74.6. And I got a 29 and a half inch draw. So
But if you have like a standard taper, I would imagine a 10 millimeter or 9.5 millimeter steel ball is probably getting close to 300 on that. I think 0.75 would be overkill for 10 millimeter, but
yeah.
it's probably over three. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you're probably shooting about 320 on it with a 0.75 band, but you're probably shooting 320, but with a 0.55 band, you could still shoot 300 feet per second, and it would be probably 5 pounds less draw weight.
Because no joke, when I was messing around with some long draw and I was passing them through the crony just to see what kind of speeds I was getting with 9.5 millimeter steel on a 0.5 band that had plenty of stretch. I was in a full draw, letting it rip through the crony. I was getting around 310 feet per second, and I could probably pull that pouch about another 2 feet past my arm. So think about that.
Yeah.
You know, think about that.
Yeah, your speed to draw weight ratio goes up so much the longer you can pull those bands.
Yep. Yep. It's a huge, huge difference. And for those long draw shooters, if you're able to actually pull that back and come close to maxing them out on the back end, my God, you'd be getting stupid speeds. But it'd be very hard to control, I'd imagine.
See, I don't mind shooting with some long draw from time to time, a little bit here and there. It's just not it doesn't resonate with me as much. I feel like I'm having to focus too much on it.
Yeah, me too.
Whereas
And
with short draw, I can kind of just like line it up and go.
and oddly enough, when you shoot long draw, are you thumb up or a thumb down guy?
I'll do either. What I do mostly now is thumb down, but occasionally I'll just pull back and let it rip, thumb up.
Yeah, I started messing around like when I do a full butterfly where I'm just basically extended out. I'll shoot with my thumb up, and I find it's okay, but I end up getting wrist problems after a long shooting session for some reason on my pouch hand. When I shoot thumb down, I shoot myself in the face very often, and and I'm like, fuck you, thumb down guys. Fuck you. That's all I gotta say. Because if I want to shoot myself in the face, I do thumb down. If I I can't seem to do it. My body does not want to do it. I had a I tried practicing it out. I just couldn't figure it out. So
So
what I started doing was I started setting up my bands like a pickle fork. So I do that weird thing where you got them kind of both going in an opposite direction.
yeah,
And when I'm shooting long draw now, I shoot with my thumb facing my face
yeah.
instead of up or down. And I don't even need to tweak it or anything. That's not an issue at all. But it solved my problem, and I'm able to shoot way more accurate than I can the other way. And instead of doing a full draw, I'm doing one about I guess about here. So I'm kind of like a 3/4, I guess, or I don't know, a half long draw or whatever. I don't know what all the people will call it, but it I started messing around with it that way, and wow, what a difference.
Yeah, that's how I shoot pickle fork. I'd pull it
Yep,
just back like
just
that.
just past your ear, eh?
So if I shoot long draw, let's say this is short draw, this is long draw, and then you have full butterfly, right? So if I shoot short draw, my thumb is up. There's a slight turn to it, slight twist to it.
Yep,
When I shoot long draw, if it's pickle fork, my thumb is sideways.
yep.
Mostly I shoot thumb down. Occasionally I'll just shoot thumb up though. But if I shoot a full butterfly, I have to have my middle finger and my thumb is up like this.
Oh, interesting.
So when I shoot full butterfly, I have to go thumb up.
Yeah,
But the pouch is coming into my hand instead of out.
yeah,
If
yeah, I
that
do
makes
the same thing. Yeah,
like this.
yep. That's how I shoot it, except for I use my index finger. That's the only difference. Yeah.
It would be so weird for me to think about using my index finger there. I don't know why. My middle finger, it just feels like I'm not sure what's going on there.
I don't know.
I hardly ever do it though.
No, me either. I kind of given up on that a little bit. I'm very comfortable with shooting from here with my pickle forks or with long draw. I'm very comfortable with that. But shooting the shooting a long draw with the thumb up or thumb down, it's just kind of like screw that. It's not worth the risk, you know. Hey, with every shot, I get uglier and uglier with all the scrapes on my face. So
Shoot 11 millimeter pretty accurately at 33 feet, but would like more range. Yeah, I would go if you're shooting 11 millimeter steel right now, just dropping down to 9.5 is probably fine. It's going to make a big difference though in the trajectory of the ball. 11 mil is I shouldn't say almost, it's so much heavier than 9.5 steel without being very much bigger. So there's a significant drop to it compared to 9.5. 9.5 is the best mediumist shot that you can use, in my opinion. It has the best combination of energy and speed, and it makes the best hunting ammo. But it's the smallest hunting ammo I would use. and it makes a great target ammo, but it's the biggest target ammo I would use.
That's about perfectly said. I think it's probably the best all rounder. I think is the 3/8.
Yeah, if you're gonna shoot one thing all the time for all purposes, I would go with 3/8.
Yep, agreed. And especially if you're a type of guy that is going to be doing hunting on the regular, if you're not shooting that all the time, then at least before hunting season, you should quit on the 8 mil steel or whatever it is you're shooting, and then go right to the 9.5 for a good month before the season starts to really get it dialed in. But I think for the most part, if you're shooting that all the way around, and you're one of those guys that likes to do hunting, target shooting, all that stuff, the best all rounder is 3/8, 100%.
If I would also recommend for anybody that shoots long draw to just go immediately to 3/8. The speed is almost the same that you're gonna get with long draw. If you're shooting short draw, you will get an advantage target shooting if you use a smaller ammo. Um, but if you're shooting long draw at all, if you're pulling anywhere past your face, I would just go right to 3/8.
3/8 is king. Yes, sir. Yeah, I just totally wish that the laws were changed here in Quebec, and we can just hunt with slingshots, because that would be freaking magical for me. It's so much better just to walk around in the woods and do a little plinking and hunting at the same time with something like this than it
Yeah.
is for me to walk around in the bush somewhere with a bow strapped to my back, you know, which some people would freak out about it if they saw you with that, you know.
Yeah, I
So
always
it's
joke about how, like, if you went to a public park with a slingshot, people would think you're a weirdo. They'd be like, what is this guy doing?" You know? But if
yeah,
you went to a public park with a bow and arrow, you'd probably get the
yeah.
cops called on you.
Oh, for sure, for sure, the cops would be called.
But yeah, I
Is
would
it?
go with that long draw 3/8. Just stick with 3/8 all the time. Long draw gives you plenty of speed and power. Really light draw weight. Um, you'll get an advantage shooting short draw with smaller ammo.
I can't remember. There was a video I was watching. I can't remember if it was Chris or who it was. They were talking about. They were talking about the when they went to the was it the World Cup or whatever it was in China, and they had all these guys that were coming out shooting the 8 mil steel, and all the UK guys were over there shooting the 3/8, and they kind of had their eyes opened. You know, they're like, holy shit, these guys are all shooting 8 mil steel, and they're kicking our ass. I think that it was like the top 20 was all Chinese shooters or something like that, and
Yeah,
they got a lot of. Sure,
the
go ahead.
only way that people don't like the only way that the Chinese don't win every World Cup is because they don't send very many people.
Yeah, that's true, eh? But even the Spanish shooters too, there were a lot of those guys were shooting all 8 mil steel or even a 1/4 inch. I know when I was chatting with Gasper, and he was telling me about most of the guys over there shoot 8 or a 1/4 inch, 8 mil or 6 mil.
Yeah, I was saying I've shot 8 mil steel for so long now, and this year I've experimented a lot with 1/4 inch, and man, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so like it's like cheating.
Have you found a big difference in your accuracy with it?
Yeah,
I should
because it's
I should
because the draw weight is so much lighter, and you can with that pouch that I had showed you, the BB pouch. It feels so much different than a pit pouch. A pit pouch, just like you put it in there and it's in there.
It's in there, huh? Yeah.
But with that BB pouch, you have to think. You have to like make sure each shot is right. And I think just doubling down on making sure that your shot is like your release is good and the pouch is clean makes a difference. And
Hmm.
so those two things combined, like the lighter draw weight and the 1/4 inch is traveling in a straight line flat, right? It's so much faster. I'm pretty sure it's faster, but I haven't cronied it. But it's just like a laser and then it dies. Okay.
Hmm.
So it probably wouldn't be very good for anything past about 20 yards because
Yeah, it just loses energy too
it's
quick. Too quick.
just going to burn up. But yeah, at 10 meters, man, it's like cheating. It's like cheating. It's
You may have
crazy.
convinced me to open up that other box that I have and give it a try. I was actually going to send it off to somebody, but I might actually keep it. We'll see. Give it a try and see how it is. Because I think like I said, I think that setup would be good for my clay stuff too, and I'll be able to get those other targets out in the yard and have some fun with the battle tree and whatnot.
Thwack Addict shoots long draw, quarter inch. He's super consistent. Yeah, dude. And it's no draw weight. I mean, it's crazy, crazy light draw weight. The difference, I'm telling you, what I'm shooting right here is about 7 pounds of draw weight. And my quarter inch setup is like 4 pounds. And the difference between 7 and 4 is humongous, even though 7 pounds is still really low.
Yeah, yeah. 4 pounds is kind of nuts. You know, actually, Hawk made a good question, a good point about that, about the light draw weight. Sometimes he says, I think he was saying he felt it was a little bit too light.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I can, if I would say if it was too light or if it just comes to a point where the draw feels weird, because I'm 100% one of those guys that actually like point 0.4 bands. It drops down my draw weight a lot, feels great, shoots fine. But I did find that I did try some bands that were 0.4 that I really didn't like the draw of. It felt so. Not only did it feel too light, but it not too light. The draw was just weird. It was like weird, oddly stretchy. I don't know how to explain it. But shooting the sniper sling versus this other brand, the sniper sling 0.4 just felt better to me, even though there was maybe like a half-pound difference between the draws. But the other one, I just didn't like the feel of it at all. It was like, oh, this just feels like I'm pulling back a wet noodle or something. I don't know. I didn't like it. Although, I mean, it was just weird. It was just weird. I don't know if it was the draw weight, or if it was just the way the bands felt that was just awful for me. So I don't know. Shooting like shooting the 0.4 sniper sling, fantastic. Shooting the 0.4 cyan, fantastic. This other brand, I don't want to say the other brand's name because I'm not trying to talk shit about them at all, because I like a lot of their other brand, their other elastic, but the other 0.4, it just, when I was drawing it back, it just felt so like, I don't know, it was weird. And there was actually two brands that were like that I had found that I didn't like the 0.4s at all, the way it felt. But the draw weights difference was only around a half pound or a quarter pound between the two. You shouldn't notice that much of a difference on that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
would you would feel a little bit of a difference in the
Maybe
weight, but the draw felt awful. You know?
maybe it's how it stretches. So like
Yeah,
obviously
that's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah,
yeah, some bands are whether they stretch more or less, some bands feel similar in how they stretch and
yeah,
some bands feel like um they never meet some bands feel like they never meet their end, right? And some
yeah,
bands feel like okay, that's where it's supposed to stop. And I've heard people talk about how when they get to that point where it's like stops, that's comfortable because
yeah.
they're
Some
getting
people
there
like the wall. You know?
and they want they want that wall
Yeah,
because then they can hold it there and they know that that's where it's supposed to be and they'll shoot it the same every time. Whereas some people who like the band or some bands rather just keep going or they stretch like you're pulling apart cheese.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah.
resistance there, but it doesn't feel like it's going to go back.
Yeah, and that was probably the best way you could probably put it, was that other brand that I tried that was kind of like it. It never seemed to get any tighter. It just kept on pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, and I was like, "Oh, this fucking feels weird, man." And I never really knew where I was at with my shot, pulling it back. And I don't like hitting a wall. I don't like it to stop at my anchor. I don't like that. But what I do need is to kind of feel
Like
maybe a
it's
little bit of
trying to come
resistance.
back.
Yeah, like it wants to send it. It's not
Yeah.
like it's just gonna. I'm gonna let go and it's just gonna swing down. You know?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But that one brand, the .4, I just couldn't get behind. Well, the two brands actually, both of them were very, very similar in how they felt.
So that's one thing about the Simple Shot. Like I said before, in terms of consistency, I think it's one of the best from roll to roll, and it lasts a long time, so I get a ton of shots out of it. It's excellent in cold weather. I don't want to shoot slingshots when it's 15 degrees outside, and I'm talking Fahrenheit here.
Yeah,
Okay, so what would that be for like -20 probably something?
yeah, somewhere around there.
Um,
40 is the place where the two of them meet. Minus
y-
40 is where the place where the two of them
y-
meet.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm talking about, like, I don't want to shoot slingshots when it's below freezing. Typically,
yeah,
when I do, I will come out and Simple Shot works fine. I'm not gonna go shoot slingshots when it's 15 degrees out or 10 degrees out or single digits. It's just not gonna. It's not something that I'm ever gonna do. But when it's cold outside, 40, 30s, 20s even, and I do want to go shoot, Simple Shot works. It just works when it's cold out. Um, the only thing that is not acceptable to a lot of people is the draw weight, because it does have a bit heavier draw weight
yeah,
than a lot of the newer bands that are out there. But we're talking about a pound or two. We're talking about, like, if I cut this same taper with like the cyan, it might be like a 5.5 or 6 pound draw weight, whereas my bands are about 7 pounds.
yeah,
You notice it, it's there definitely, but if you want the lighter draw weight,
yeah. But all you have to do is cut it a half centimeter longer,
yeah,
really, to solve that issue.
like there's plenty of speed in them. The lifespan is the best part. I often, actually, about probably half or better of the band sets that I make, I don't break. I actually just change them after a few hundred shot, after 500 or 600 shots.
Yeah,
And but like
yeah. But
most,
500 or 600 shots is a lot of shots. Like that's
yeah, that's
good.
yeah, that's what
That's
I'm
good.
saying. Like,
Yeah.
you have
Oh,
to change them after that because they're not
yeah.
good anymore.
Yeah, and it was funny when I was talking with Gasper about that. He was I mean, for those of you guys who don't know who Gasper is, Gasper Akron, he was a really top shooter in the world, and I mean Spain had won the European Cup. Their team, he's got a list of accolades. Like the dude's a serious shooter, and when he puts a brand new band set on his fork, he'll shoot 200 shots and swap them because he had found that when he starts shooting his bands, he's going to need a certain amount of shots per event. We'll say he'll take those shots, shoot those shots, and then when he's done with it, he'll swap out his band set, do a warm up with like 15 or 20 shots, and then he's good to go for his next event. He will never ever shoot more than 200 shots on a band set because they start to lose performance over there, and he wants to be able to hit something. He wants to stack his 8 mil steels on top of 8 mil steels, which is crazy. And for those, I mean, there's a couple of videos of him out there shooting in tournaments, and you see this guy just go through this series of 30 mil flippers just over and over and over again. It's disgusting how good this guy is, and you can imagine it's something to be thought of. Just because you have a tear in your band, you probably should have changed them a long time ago.
Yeah.
Really, you know?
Yeah, like I just don't, it doesn't happen that often that my band actually will tear. Like, it happens, but it's less than half of them.
Yeah,
And I'll just shoot for a few days, 100 shots a day maybe. And I shoot on my lunch breaks a lot, and I can get about 100 shots or so in that are good, can, like, where I'm not just spraying.
yeah,
And the other day, like, I was shooting and my shots were just like, I was missing by like 3 inches. I was like, what is going on here? And then I was like, oh dude, I just realized I've only put one band set on this frame since I made it, and I shot for 2 weeks.
yeah. Imagine.
I got to change these bands.
Yeah, 600 shots off of a band set is a lot, man. And there's
And then
not
you're
there's
like,
not many. Sorry, what?
I was gonna say, and then you're like, you get to the point where you're just like, what's going on? What?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
yeah. "What's wrong with you?" You're screaming at your fork. Yeah, I've definitely been there. And there's not that many brands, I would say, that actually have that really really good speed to longevity ratio. Simple Shot's definitely one of them. I've had good luck with Omega. I've had good luck with Sniper Sling Yellow only. Um, what else? What other ones have been pretty good? Oh, the AK Velocity, the mint colored one, is actually pretty good. It's another one that doesn't want to seem to die.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people talk about the Omega White
Yep,
specifically about its band life.
yep. I've had a band that ran over 1,000 shots on that one. But there's a couple of other brands that I've had good luck, but there's a lot of them out there that are like the Cyan performance is pretty good. It just doesn't have the longevity that I'm looking for. Although the .4 seems to be better than the .45, which is odd.
How
The
much different do you think the speeds are between the 0.4 and 0.45?
I haven't really gone all that crazy into it. I'm just when I'm talking about speeds, I'm talking about basically how I'm seeing it impact the targets. And
Like, do you notice it though?
a little bit. The .45 is faster, but not by much. Like these band sets that I have on here, I actually cut them a little bit on the short side. So when I'm drawing them, they're pretty close to max on these two. I was messing around with it a little bit because the point I cut them off. I cut the band at 140 millimeters, and then I did my tie on, and then I did my pouch, my attachment at the fork on a clip frame, and it shot pretty good. And I had some extra stretch, so I was getting it back. I was getting it back to here if I really yanked it, you know. So I had like a good 2 inches of extra. The On the wrap and tuck, I decided to add only a half centimeter to that because I had all that extra stretch, and somehow it seemed to come out a little bit short. Not short. I'm still getting a full draw, but I don't have much of extra. So I'm kind of surprised that the bands have lasted this long, to be honest, since I've been shooting these ones.
Hawk said they don't break, but after 150 shots, I'm pulling another 1 to 2 inches on Omega White. So this is something that I noticed with Simple Shots bands too. When I used to cut them to like basically be maxed at my draw length, what I was doing was um so they would be maxed at my draw length for about 20 shots. And then after about 20 shots, I could get them an extra inch or two, right? Now I can feel the point where the bands want to stop.
Yep.
But I mean, look how much extra draw I have. And when I'm
Yep.
shooting, it feels like they want to stop there, but they're not. Like, I mean, what is that, 6 inches I got?
Yeah.
So like when you get to that point, it feels like it wants to stop, but they're not stopping. And because I leave them extra long, that probably is why a big reason why the longevity, why I'm getting so many shots out of them. It's
Yeah.
because they're not working very hard at all.
And I do the same thing with the Omega White. Is the same thing. I don't have it stop right at my anchor. I always have like a good 2 inches or 3 inches extra. But from all the testing that I've done with all the brands of across the board, I always measure them to stop at my anchor point for a maxed out band to see what kind of speeds I can get out of a maxed out band on every single one of them across the board. And at the end of the test, every single one of them is stretching longer. All the bands stretch out 100%. I've never found one that doesn't, and that's only after 20 shots you notice a difference, just a break-in period. That's why whenever I'm doing those tests, I mean, I used to show it in the beginning. I would just take a couple of shots to warm up. I'd take 20 shots or so just to warm up the bands, but even after that 20 shots, you always saw the extra stretch. And I also went into it where I started testing bands, and I was pre-stretching the bands before I put them onto my pouch. So I'd take the elastic and I'd stretch them out, put them down onto the board, and you would see that it would be like a half centimeter longer, sometimes 3/4 of a centimeter longer. And I would leave those like that overnight and see how much they would go back, and they never made it back to 100%. So it's something to consider when you're making your bands. But I think it makes a big difference not to max out your bands for the life, for sure.
Yeah.
The and you will see a bit of a drop off afterwards from what is the best, precise yellow or sniper sling yellow?
I'd go sniper sling.
I would go sniper sling, hands down.
Paul
Sniper
said,
sling's
"Call me old fashioned. I just love sniper sling yellow." Paul, that's not old fashioned. Sniper sling yellow is a good band.
yeah.
Before I started working with Simple Shot, the two latexes I would buy all the time were the Sniper Sling 0.5 and the Simple Shot 0.5. The Sniper Sling 0.4 and the Simple Shot 0.5. Those
Yeah,
were the two bands I bought.
Yeah, and I was a sniper sling yellow guy and a gong chi guy.
I always wonder why Simple Shot, why in the kits they give you 0.7 bands. I would have thought they would give lighter bands in case a kid was buying it. Okay. So I've talked about this a few times, and I'll tell you I can't tell you exactly the words that Nathan used, but I'll tell you why. I had a conversation with Nathan about this a couple years ago, and I've told a few people what he told me. The reason that Simple Shot sends 0.7 bands, their all purpose bands, quote unquote, are 0.7, is because they're meant to be heavy. Okay. Simple Shot is our target customer is new people. Our target customer is the people who were either have shot a wrist rocket before, have shot maybe bow and arrow before. They don't understand slingshots, and we're trying to get them into it. So imagine for a second that you don't know anything about slingshots, and you go pick this slingshot up at, Bass Pro or Walmart or whatever. If you go and you pick this thing up and it's got 6 pounds of draw weight or 5 pounds of draw weight on there, you're probably going to think it's dumb and it's a toy and it's stupid. But if you pick it up and it has some substantial draw weight to it, then you probably are going to think, wow, this actually has some power to it. I didn't know that flat bands and a $30 slingshot could shoot like this, like have that kind of power. And so you have to remember that, like, the vast majority of the population doesn't know anything about slingshots. Most people who get into it want really heavy bands and they want small light ammo. And so
Yep.
a new customer has to be exposed to something in between that. They have to be exposed to something that's in between a wrist rocket and a modern slingshot. And the best combination is just a heavy band set that is still half the draw weight of what a wrist rocket is.
And I'd like to add something to that if I can. If you look at the community as a whole, as a wide range from a new guy to a guy who's been shooting 30 years in tournaments, you see pretty much the same thing. All the people that start out are shooting for speed and power, and everybody that finishes off at the higher end, or the higher quality shooters, we'll call them, or the higher, more experienced shooters, are all have gone through that same thing of buying 45,000 slingshots, trying out the heaviest bands, shooting all those things, and they all work their way down to tuning their bands to get a light draw weight, to get a more precise shot. They all do the same thing. It's part of the progression, and I think it's important. And while people are going through this, I did it. I'm sure Jordan did it. I mean, your first
100%.
your first band sets were probably 0.7, 0.65, somewhere in that range. You're probably shooting 3/8 steel and trying to find out a way to get them faster. And to be honest, the proof is when you go back into any one of those band reviews that I've done. Go and check out every single one of them. Everybody all the time is worrying about speed, and this is why I kind of step back from it, because I don't want people to get caught in that speed trap where they're so concerned about getting the fastest band, because the fastest band isn't necessarily the best band out there. If you've got something that you can shoot your ammo, the ammo that you're planning on shooting for, with the lightest draw weight, with all this stuff, and make sure that you can stack those ammos on top of each other through that target. If you could put your first shot through the bullseye and then have every single one of them pass through the same hole, that's what we should be aiming for.
Yeah.
And just having them rip through a garbage can lid or something, it's pointless. It's
Yeah.
pointless, you know.
Yeah,
But
but when you
to,
start, that's
to
not what
get
you're
those
thinking.
people, yeah, to get those people in, you need that, and it's actually a very wise thing. And I'm actually kind of glad because the last couple of orders that I got from Simple Shot, I did get a point 0.7 band and a 0.5 band, which was cool because the 0.5 band got used and the 0.7 band got thrown in the trash, unfortunately. But the
Yeah.
0.5 band got used because it's good stuff. I just cut
Yeah.
it to the length that I needed.
So when you get, so they used to send 2 of those general purpose bands and some steel ammo. And when we were trying to figure out how to get the idea in people's brains right away that your bands and ammo need to be matched, because what would happen a lot is people would buy quarter inch and then they would buy the all purpose bands. And so if you don't know anything, that's fine, because heavy draw weight's better and faster speed is better, and lighter ammo you get more when you buy them.
Yep.
And so, and you don't understand that you need to match the bands to the ammo. So the best way that they figured out how to get that in their head right away was to separate steel ammo and clay ammo as 2 different things, and to send a band that was meant for the clay and a band that was meant for the steel. So it immediately impressions people with the idea that different ammo needs different bands. But if you were like brand new into the world of slingshots and you did not know anything about them, and you picked up a slingshot that you or I would use, you would think it's a toy. You would think it's a gimmick. What is this? And then the other thing is those point 0.7 bands, I guarantee you that 75 to 90% of the people that shoot those point 0.7 bands are going to get close to 1,000 shots out of it.
100%. And a point in case. Sorry, I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
And all I'm saying is, if you were to get a slingshot and not knowing, I'm sorry, that you're going to that lighter bands are actually better. Lighter bands are better for lighter ammo. And then you banded it up and you only got 300 shots, you'd probably think it was junk.
Yeah.
So you shoot it, it works great. They're really light. They're kind of like pussy bands, and it broke after 300 shots, so it's just garbage. But if you get a heavy band and it lasts you 1,000 shots, at very, very least, even if it's not the power you're looking for, which it sounds crazy to say that out loud. At very least, you're like, well, it got 1,000 shots out of it, and they were a little heavy. They had some oomph to them for sure. You're at least not thinking that it's trash.
And that first slingshot that I got, that one from China, the top archery professional wrapped up piece of garbage that I got. That thing came with 2 bands. I went through those 2 bands in no time, and they were pretty light bands. The second slingshot that I got was a Scout LT from Simple Shot. The bands that came were way, way longer. I just attached those bands to the forks as is. And I was shooting 3/8 steel in my backyard at my swing set. I don't know if you guys remember that swing set I had with the sheet hanging on of my target. I was shooting at that thing over and over and over again. And I was getting plenty of speed with decent accuracy. And those bands lasted forever. And I had one set and they just kept shooting. And I think I bought one pack of 5 bands from Simple Shot afterwards. It got sent to me. And I shot those and I started making my own bands immediately after, just because of the price of everything was expensive. But that's when the can of worms opened up and I started searching on how to make my own bands, how to tune them to myself, how to get everything figured out. And at the time, there wasn't really much going on online to find out how to do any of that shit, really. And but just having the Simple Shot bands on the Scout LT, I was able to shoot pretty damn well with a band that wasn't even tuned at all. And fuck, I think it lasted me the whole summer. That band set, it was crazy.
Yeah, so that's just like when you buy a Simple Shot product and you're an experienced slingshot shooter, you always have to remember that that's not we want to satisfy the experienced slingshot shooters. We want to serve the community for sure. That's the biggest part of what I'm doing. So that's my focus, right? But Simple Shot as a company, and Nathan specifically, wants to bring all the new people in. That's the goal. And so you always have to remember that we're trying to service first the new customers. That way we can get more experienced shooters in the mix.
Yeah.
And when you pick up the product, you have to remember that. Like, the product was designed for, and it was designed with new people in mind. It was designed for people that are brand new to the Slingshot world. They have no idea what they're doing, and it's always on the back end for the experienced shooter, because we have the pro versions of the stuff, right? We have the Axiom, which is meant for the experienced shooter. We have a Pickle fork, which is meant for experienced shooters. Like, those types of things are just like back end things. They're things that, if you get into it and you make that second or third purchase that maybe you want to dabble in, because now we got you. Now you're a person in the world of slingshots. You're going to learn about lighter band sets, making your own bands, tuning them, and doing all that stuff on the back end of it. But when you buy a brand new product from Simple Shot and you're a first time shooter, you don't have any of that info. You just don't know.
Yeah, you get that little paper that says wear your glasses. Be careful.
Yeah.
You know, good luck, God bless, and then pretty much shoot straight. But I don't know. I get it. And as an experienced shooter myself, if I'm ordering a Simple Shot product, I'm ordering it for the Slingshot, because really I don't believe there's such thing as a beginner Slingshot. I just don't. I think you got different levels of fancy, but I mean you could shoot good stuff or bad stuff. Like a really fancy slingshot, or one that's cut out of a cookie sheet, or a cutting board, and you can still shoot great with it. So in that case, I don't really think there's anything out there that's a beginner slingshot versus an experienced slingshot. That I
Yeah, I
don't really
agree.
care about. But as the bands to come in with it, as an experienced slingshot shooter, I know that I want my bands to be a certain way, and that's how I like to shoot them. So if I get that thing, it comes in, and it's not really what I want to shoot, I throw them in the garbage, or I wrap them onto a frame and I give it to one of my buddies to give to their kid. That's basically what happens.
Dude, I built
Yeah.
a slingshot rifle that is the right length for the full length Simple Shot bands.
Oh, oh,
So it's like, I can't remember exactly what the length is, but basically I can take the general purpose bands out of the package, put it on the Slingshot rifle, and throw half-inch steel balls. Awesome, you know. But it's
that's
it's a
so crazy.
slingshot rifle. It's a slingshot
Yeah,
rifle, and that's what I use them for. So now when I get new slingshots from Simple Shot and it's got those bands in it, now they have a purpose. I don't have to throw them in the trash.
that's sweet. that's, that's sweet and slightly nuts at the same time.
Coinworker said, "Remember when we did the draw weight on the wrist rockets, dude? When me and Coin did a video
I
where,
saw that video.
dude, the draw weight on the wrist rockets was like 25 pounds. It was
I know, it's nuts.
ridiculous. It was so crazy. And to think that, like, when you or I are talking here, you put those .7 bands, yeah, maybe they're 12 or 15 pounds. It's not 25 pounds,
No, it's not
right?
25
So,
pounds.
so there's a huge difference. And it starts that idea in people's head that, like, okay, this is obviously decent stuff. It's obviously good stuff, but it's not a wrist rocket.
And,
Like,
and
it's,
it's crazy. I got one of those Strauds from the UK, and it came with these bands on there that it looked like something like a heroin addict would use to tie off his arm. They were so thick. And I was like, what the hell is this? I tried doing the pull on it, and they were super long. So I was like maybe pulling them like 8 inches to my draw length. And even at that, I was like, fuck, this feels like it's 30 pounds. Like, I could pull my 40-pound bow feels better than this. What the hell's going on? And I don't get how people shoot them, but up here, we have these tubes for slingshots. They come in it's a pre-made set. It's a pre-made set you could buy from like Canadian Tire or one of those places, but the tubes are tapered. Do you guys have those up here? Or down there?
we might be able to get them like from TrueMark or something. I think they made a tapered tube, so you could buy them separately by themselves.
Yeah. That's what these were like. They were it was like Target something. I can't remember the name of it, but the tube was fatter at the fork end and thinner at the pouch end. And They were actually pretty decent. I don't know if they were much faster, but the draw weight was much less than that junkie straw that I got.
Yeah,
It's like
one of
this is
them
crazy.
one of them that Coin and I were shooting were tapered like that. They were fatter on one end, but it was just heavier. It just made it heavier. 'Cause they were
Oh,
like heavy
really?
bands to begin with.
Mm. But that's nuts. Can you imagine shooting something 20 pounds like that all the time for just shooting a man? It's crazy. And
We
the
were
retraction
laughing,
rate.
dude. We were
Huh?
laughing so hard that Coin and I were having trouble getting it all the way back to our face.
That's bizarre, man. And to think that so many people were shooting those things on the regular,
And
back
it's
in the day.
crazy that people think it's crazy to me that there are people out there who are like, yeah, simple shot bands are too heavy. And it's like, yeah, but imagine what we would have if
They didn't exist.
if flat bands didn't exist.
Yeah, nightmare. Yeah, it's just crazy when you see those old tube shooters, people are out there shooting them. And I had one of those tubes in a little vacuum sealed box for forever, and I took them out just for fun. I pulled them back, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe people are still shooting these things. Barnett, I think, had some. Yeah, I think Barnett did have some. I can't remember the brand that we had up here, but it was kind of funny because a lot of the Barnett stuff that they were selling up here, it wasn't actually Barnett, it was another company, but the packaging looked very similar.
Probably some Asian company that like was making a knockoff.
Oh, maybe. I mean, yeah, probably. It was very similar to that. I know we have Barnett clay ammo up here, but it's all half-inch stuff that you could buy from our store.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous, and the price of it's fucking stupid. I couldn't shot any of those because I was laughing so hard. Hey, how you doing, Shades? Are you in the mix of all that stuff down there? Waiting for curry pork chow mein. Oh, that sounds good.
Not a fan of curry.
No?
No, but I love spicy food, but curry itself to me tastes like it tastes like I'm not trying to be mean, but it tastes like earth.
Have you tried? No, you're not being mean. But what style curry have you tried? Has it always been like Indian curry or like Caribbean curry?
I'm not sure, but I remember I don't know, maybe well, actually now that I'm thinking about it, it was a long time ago cuz when I lived downtown, I used to eat like at a bunch of random places when I worked there. And so I would eat like all kinds of weird food all the time. And I remember a couple of times trying different curry from a couple of different spots and every time thinking like it's spicy. I like spicy food, but it tastes like I'm eating dirt. It tastes like I'm eating like I don't know how to say it without sounding really mean, but it tastes bad. It tastes like I'm eating earth. Like I'm tasting ground up bark and dirt and spice.
Oh, that's weird. It may just been a bad restaurant that you were at, but I know what Paul's saying here. Try Thai Green if you have a place of Thai restaurant near you. I mean, the curries that I tend to eat most often is like Caribbean style curry, like having rotis and that kind of stuff. I don't know if you ever had that, but it's like basically like a curry stew that's wrapped up in this bread called dal puri that has like chickpeas crushed in between. It's fucking delicious, man. It's like a totally different world. But when it came to Indian curry, which I'm also a pretty big fan of, but it's very easy to screw that up pretty bad. So I've had some that were just freaking awful, and then I've had some that have been overspiced and it tastes almost gritty. So it's kind of hard to dial that in. But when you get a good restaurant that actually people know what they're doing, it's fucking good. Yeah, Kyle, my man, I'm telling you, eating things like doubles and stew beef and oxtail stew and curry chicken. Oh man, it's good. And the guys in the UK too. If you're looking for if you want to try a good curry, go to a British style pub and order their curries that they have on there. It's usually pretty good. They got that dialed in.
Shades, my draw weight on my bands that I typically shoot for 8 mil steel are about 7 pounds.
Yeah, there was a while back, Smo. I wish you were actually with me. I went up to go visit one of my buddies, and we had a rabbit, and I stew curried a rabbit out in the woods, and basically I made that with a thing called bus up shot. I know Kyle will know what I'm talking about, but basically you make like a flatbread and you crush it, you kind of crush it up in the pan, and you put you make the dough and you kind of put it into a frying pan, you cook it over the fire or on your stove or whatever it is, but while you're doing it you're kind of busting it up while it's bubbling up, and you would use this to kind of pick up your food and eat it. But the rabbit was just like fall off the bone, low and slow is always the best way to cook rabbit in my opinion anyway. But we cooked that low and slow on the fire with a good curry stew, and it was. I'm sure I would change your mind.
Dude,
I'm sure I would change your mind.
dude,
Yeah.
just thinking about like some soft, low, slow meat is making my mouth water. I I know that sounded super gay, but that's just true, man. Like okay, so I'm like kind of I've been in the space of health and fitness for a long time as well. And over the last few years I kind of like, you fall off and you just don't think about it too much as you age. You got a lot going on. But I can tell you low and slow isn't just the best way to cook some meats. It's actually in terms of healthful ways to cook meats one of the best as well.
One of the best
Um
way.
so like if you cook meat for the right amount of time at the right temperature, there's almost no carcinogenic effect. So all these people talking about how like, oh, eating too much meat's bad for you and eating red meat is bad for you and all this stuff. That has a place if like you're throwing down on a nasty grill with weird oils and you're cooking at high temperatures and
Yeah,
all this
and
kind of
getting a
stuff.
lot of char. It's all that
But
char that's bad for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if you cook meat at the right temperature for the right amount of time, not only does it often taste better, but you also make it better for you. I cook I make ribs, the baby back ribs, and I've never eaten somebody else's ribs that I thought were better than my own.
Hmm.
I can make a burger pretty damn good. I've had way better burgers. I can make a steak pretty damn good. I've had way better steak. Pork chops. I can't. I screw them up every time. I still eat them because I'm a pig, but I've had way better pork chops. Chicken wings. Any chicken dish doesn't matter. I've had it better everywhere else, but I've never had baby back ribs the way that somebody else can make them better than how I make them. And it takes me an entire day
Yeah,
to
I'm the
make them.
same. Low and slow.
Dude, it takes me an entire day. I have to if I'm going to make ribs, I have to start in the morning and I don't get to eat them until it's dark. Um but man, they're so good. They're
Yeah.
so good. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's hard not to eat half your body weight of those things too either, eh? When you start eating them and they're so damn good, it's
Dude,
like impossible to stop.
there's no amount of them that I can't
Yeah.
eat.
There would not be a pig on the planet if you had your choice, I'm sure. Oh, by the way, Kyle, you're absolutely right. The bus up shot's more of a Trinidad thing, I guess. But the but
If you had
the
said hard meat, it would have been with Dodgy. Shades.
yeah.
Oh, dude, there's a squirrel on the tree like 10 feet from me. He just went behind the tree.
I heard those are pretty good low and slow too.
He's in my neighbor's yard though.
Oh,
Yeah, there he is right there. Holy moly. It's like he's asking me to be eaten. I mean, it can't be more than 10 feet from me right now. Let me flip you. Oh, I can't. Oh, yeah, I can zoom in.
oh, you can, yeah.
He's right there.
He's got the sniper position on you.
You see him there?
Oh, and there's a little head sticking out there. But that would be a tight shot, though. You think you get any deflection off that? Oh,
Well,
maybe that's pretty clear.
if I hit him, he'd go down and he'd be fine. But if I miss, it would fly into houses.
Yeah, that's not worth the risk.
No.
No.
I've shot a few squirrel in my own backyard. I've shot a few of them, but typically they're like when they're down there. So they like to hang out by this tree, and they'll be like down in this area by the thing. And there's almost nothing that I could worry about hitting.
Yeah, it'll just go into the ground, worst case scenario for the most part.
Yeah, or it'll bounce into a yard or something. And
the one thing, Paul, if you've never had Caribbean food, I highly recommend getting yourself a roti to start. It's basically, well, it depends on what I usually go for a goat roti myself because I really like goat. But if you're gonna do it, go for chicken to start off with. Try it out. It's usually got potato and carrot in it, with a nice thick curry gravy, and it's gonna be wrapped up in like a. It's kind of like a tortilla. I guess is the best way I could put it. It's not a tortilla. It's usually called dalpuri or a roti skin, and they've got crushed chickpeas in between the layers, and it kind of soaks up all the sauce. It's really, really nice. You really can't go wrong. And if you're a little bit nervous about trying that, you can try some patties or doubles. Doubles are also very good. Yep. Listen to Kyle. He knows what he's talking about. And if you're ever in Barbados, get yourself a fish cutter. just saying.
okay, so my gasser, it's throwing them a little bit to the right.
100%, Kyle. Yeah, you're shooting to the right a little bit.
My gasser here is shooting just a smidge to the right. My axiom, I didn't show this to you guys, but the band slipped out of the wrap.
Oh shit!
It's that tape.
Oh really?
It feels like medical tape, kind of.
Yep.
I got this from Sniper Sling, like I don't know, a couple years ago. But like you peel it, and it's like sticky tape.
Yeah.
It's the
first. That's weird. Do you do a fold on them too when you wrap them?
Yeah.
Wow, and it still came out. That's weird.
Yeah, it's never happened to me before. I've used this tape a million times, and that's never happened to me before. Luckily, I noticed it because I only had about I don't know, quarter of an inch of band still in there.
Is that on your top fork too?
It's on the bottom fork.
Oh, okay. So at least you wouldn't have eaten it in the eye.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
But man,
it still would have sucked. But
I happened to look down and I seen like residue, and I was like, "What is this?" And when I pulled it, it just came right out.
Wow.
Oh well.
Yeah, so you were kind of getting that little bit of a bubble on the top, I guess, like in the center of the band. And you noticed that?
No, it was like sliding evenly.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I didn't notice it at all. The Avro, I got latex on there.
Yeah.
And the gasser, I have latex on there, so I don't have to worry about them slipping.
Yeah, they'll never slip. I'm kind of surprised that they slipped out of that tape, because that tape, whenever I've used it, has been crazy solid.
It's never happened to me before.
The first batch I got, I have to say, I wasn't too impressed with. I found it tore very easily. And I'd mentioned it to Min, and then he got this new batch in that solved that problem, and there was never an issue. Oh shit! Man. Hey, Jordan. I think we're gonna have to wrap this one up, buddy. I've got like no battery left.
Oh yeah, no problem. No
Yeah.
worries.
Sorry, dude. I was having a good time. Could
Yeah.
have gone all day. Yeah. I can't even see you at this point. It's gone black on my screen, so I probably
Oh
got.
no.
I probably got like 3 seconds left. Yeah. Alrighty, folks. We're gonna have to wrap this one up. Jordan, you're the fucking man, and it's always good to hang out with you, dude.
Absolutely, man. Let me know whenever you want to go live. If I'm free, I'll go.
Yeah, if you ever got any on your channel as well, we can do mine, yours. I don't care either way, man. It's just fun to shoot with you.
Heck yeah, man.
And thanks a lot, by the way, for that that Kodiak. It's absolutely beautiful, man.
Yeah,
It's
dude, I
crazy.
love the swap.
I'm gonna cherish that thing.
Appreciate you, man.
Yep. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for joining. It's always a good time hanging out with you. Bye for now.
See ya.